guided trip.
You know how I'm going to start this podcast?
Yum, dude.
Heck yeah, we're back.
Hey,
Whoa,
guys.
I'm loud. Oh, shit. Cheers that. I didn't realize how loud I was.
Well, you're the host, man.
We're back. Guided trip. I forgot what the podcast was called for a minute.
It's been that long.
I'm a
It's
little...
been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've had a podcast.
Oh.
I'm also a little delirious.
Hand me that snooter.
Forgive me. Oh, you want one of these?
Yeah, hand me that snooter.
Off air, please.
Yeah.
But no, so we've been busy. It's been busy fall, crazy summer. So first off, apologies for not putting out podcasts for a while. We've all been doing our own shit. Ryan got married.
Yeah.
Congrats to you, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
You got married. Yeah, you
Made-
got your ring on.
Made the swap.
Yeah. Dane has just been fishing his little heart out. Guiding, not fishing.
Yeah, I haven't actually fished that much, but I've been guiding a lot.
We're going to try and fish tomorrow, though, hopefully.
Yeah, no, that'll be great.
Both of us are off, so hopefully we're going to fish tomorrow.
Oh,
But,
screw you guys then.
Yeah. But, no, and for myself, I've just been guiding, as much as possible, and then I've taken a little bit of a break and been doing some hunting. That's why I'm kind of delirious right now. I just got back from a little bit of hunting. Helped a buddy pack out a moose last night. This morning, last night and this morning.
Well, it's usually an all-day affair.
So it was a big affair. But so that's we got a lot going on. This isn't our day job, making podcasts for everybody. But we have had some complaints about not putting out podcasts.
Who?
We'll just people are like, hey, where's the podcast? When are you guys gonna do another one? So
Yeah,
we're
you were,
trying.
you were going to say sorry. I was going to say you're welcome.
Yeah. You're welcome for not boring you with our talk. Yeah, I mean, our guiding it's been good for you, Dan. You've been cranking.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that look for? You're giving me a look over there. Oh, blast it off. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean it's been pretty steady. Fishing's been good. Lower water. Did they drop to Taylor today?
Yeah.
Yep.
They dropped the Taylor today again?
Well, not today,
yesterday.
but
October 1st,
Yeah,
right?
on the 1st.
What'd they drop it to?
Yeah, it was at 4:15 this morning.
The Gunny or the Taylor?
The gunny. So
So they dropped it. Let's take a look here.
What is that? That
They
makes
dropped
it
it 90 CFS or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah, they dropped it around 100 CFS. So
Yeah,
I think
close.
That's
yeah,
not terrible. How's it running your boat?
Still goes.
Yeah, it goes. She ain't much, but she runs.
Yeah,
You
she
know?
fucking.
Are you guys running the upper at all anymore?
I stay away from there. I mean, he ran,
I did
kind of
Lost Canyon
upper,
today.
middle upper.
That's
Right.
only 2
Yeah.
miles down from Almont. So
Yeah.
maybe less.
That's not bad.
296 out of the dam.
Okay.
I was going to check to see what... Oh, I can't tell off that graph to see what they dropped it from.
Yeah, the Taylor's feeling a
Um,
lot less dangerous.
But Gunny right now is sitting at 430.
All right.
Oh, this is bigger than when I floated it
Yeah.
today.
But there are some salmon in the river. It feels like to me, this is just my opinion, I haven't seen like that much of a run.
Dude, it's
I'm not too concerned about it.
Well,
but-
we had kind of anticipated that the run wasn't going to be as plush this year as
Why
it's
is that?
been. Just because of low flows last year, because of the Taylor being, or not the Taylor, but the Blue Mesa being super low, it really affects those fish. And it's kind of a year before affects the next year's run. So we're going to start spawning tomorrow, but
Oh, nice.
yeah. But
Sweet.
I know they're showing up in the apron. They're starting to show up in the
Yeah.
raceways to spawn. but-
How far is the East River closed down? They close it down like at the end of the property, or how far above the end of the property?
Yeah, so they set the weir basically up, the block net basically right next to the outlet, right above the outlet. So
Okay.
no fish go up there. But yeah, you can fish the upper property.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some salmon got loose.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've fished it years past, and I mean, there's salmon in
Right.
there. And
They're
I've
not
had
gonna
some-
be-
I've had some bonker beginner trips.
Oh yeah, that's the best one right there.
Go into the east and be like, hey, here's what we're doing today. Here's a nymph rig with a San Juan worm and an egg. and you just hammer salmon, and people are just blown away.
Yeah, they're not as thick this year up there. They try to put the net in sooner than later so they can get so there's not a whole bunch of stragglers.
It doesn't seem like there's been a ton this year. I have a question for you that I just kind of thought about, but I don't know if you can answer it or not. You know anything about gill lice?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming you can't say anything about it.
It's not really.
Copy.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it.
Gill lice exist. They really affect fish during low water years.
Copy. We don't need to say anything about it. But I thought about it for a minute. I was like, I wonder. But but turns out I was wrong.
They exist. They're in every river and lake system.
Yeah. We don't need to touch on it. Sorry for bringing that up. Jeez, I made it all weird. But the Gunny's been fishing good. I mean, still low water, but I mean, as far as techniques, Dane, you've been on the water more than I have lately. I don't know if you want to go over kind of where you've been finding fish and just give a little bit of a report. Yeah. If you want.
Yeah, no,
I'll leave it up to you.
All day.
Yeah. Bing bong, bing dong.
Bing bong bong. Dane's fishing report.
Yeah, Dane's fishing report.
Yeah, still finding fish. Pretty shallow, choppy, uneasy water. And they're eating tiny shit. So they will eat it.
What kind of tiny shit? You don't have to go into full details, but
ever heard of a RIMS Simulator 2?
Is that also known as an RS2?
That's an RS2, yeah. Anywhere from size 18 to 22. I haven't really fucked with a 24. But a 22 usually matches what they're eating pretty good. There's a lot of like true gray betas coming off.
Yeah.
Darth betas is a good one.
Yeah.
Gray drakes. We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
We saw gray drakes.
Yeah.
I've never seen gray drakes on
I've been seeing them on the Taylor.
Really?
Well,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've never seen them out here.
You know what's interesting is they will eat. There's like a period during the day where they will eat a size 16 pheasant tail.
Yeah.
Like more than anything else, which I'm sure they'd eat a size 16 hare's ear, size 16 whatever mayfly copperjaw.
Of course.
But like it's just really weird because you pump a stomach and it's all these little tiny bugs, 22s, 20s, and then all of a sudden it's like, what was he on? Oh, pheasant tail?
Yeah.
Pheasant tail, size 16. And it's like,
that's insane.
What is that about?
Because it's funny though that we all have different experiences. Because I've thrown it and like not caught anything on it on the pheasant tail.
Really?
But I pumped the other day, and 2 days ago I had a walk wade, and I don't know how long it's been since I had a walk wade, but I went down to the lower Gunny.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how long it's been since I've been down there.
Right.
And I just had one kid. I've taken him for a couple of years, and took him down there, and we caught a fish, pumped it immediately, and no joke, probably size 28 betas in there.
Right.
Isn't that brutal?
Insane.
Yeah, I know. Fuck that.
Unreal.
Oh, you guys don't have size 28 flies?
Dude, I told the kid, I was like, I told him for a moment, I was like, we were catching them here and there, and we were changing tactics, and we were doing all right. We were going fast water and shallow and whatever, deep water, shelves, blah, blah, blah. And we were catching them.
Right.
But I told him after I pumped the last one, I was like, dude, I don't have these bugs. I was like, I don't go smaller than 22. I'm sorry.
No, dude.
I was like, I'm not a tailwater guy. I don't go smaller than 22.
I have like 4 size 24 flies for literally just the catch and release.
Yeah. Dude.
But
I mean,
back to the fishing report. Sorry.
Yeah. No, they hang out super shallow. And especially when those betas come off, it seems like they move shallower. They push up to the head of shelves, and they eat in faster water. And
fast water.
Right.
I'm assuming, I'm not a biologist like Ryan, but I'm assuming that they do this type of thing because they can eat more food that way. If you're sitting in 5-6 feet of water, I mean, the amount of food available has to be a lot less. Than
it feels like you got to expend more energy that way. To eat that food.
I mean, that's the whole thing is you do have to expend more energy, but the risk is worth the reward. It's just these fish are constantly doing instinctual cost-benefit analysis.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. They move into that faster water, and that's just a conveyor belt for them.
And then they can control the whole column way easier.
Yeah.
Well, and fish are super hydrodynamic, so they're actually expending a lot less effort than you'd think they are.
To sit in that water.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
That makes sense. I mean, it's because,
winter is coming.
Yeah.
These
and they
fish
got to
eat.
They're on the feed right now.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. They are on the feed. Fishing has been good. Also,
just a question: are you finding more browns or rainbows in this?
It's a lot of browns, the occasional rainbow, but I'm assuming also they don't sit in a lot of the deep pools because in a lot of the classic deep nymphing runs right now, there is a bunch of salmon.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a mixture of the
That was
going to
be the next thing I was saying. These salmon are definitely pushing fish out.
Yeah.
They're kind of dominating the territory, and these fish are kind of moving out of the way. The salmon kind of mess with the flow of things a little bit.
Touch on this real quick, but I want to go back. So on my guide trip the other day, I was telling you we saw some dry fly action, some really small bugs coming off.
Yeah.
But this is a point where I struggle as a guide when like really small bugs are coming off, or they're not necessarily rising to dry flies.
Yeah.
They're eating kind of that emergence of either a midge or a baetis or whatever it is, and I struggle so hard to figure that out and how to get good at it.
Well, we just talked about one epic bug for that.
Yeah, and he knows what it is too. He knows.
We don't have. I mean, do we want to talk about all these things?
I mean, I don't know. You can hint at it. I don't know, or just hint towards me.
Batman emerger.
Oh yeah.
Batman.
That is a good one. I found, and I told you about these flies, a Clearwater emerger with like the glass bead.
That's right. You were just talking about that.
Yeah,
I've never even seen.
And I threw that below a small like mayfly. We'll put it that way, small mayfly. And I mean, it's not going to sink fast.
God, we don't give anything out.
No, well, like I said, dude, like we're not about that. We're guides, but we're fishermen as well, and we're not going to give away all of our secrets.
I agree.
It's funny because my client the other day knew that bug that I'm talking about.
Yeah. And
brought it up. He didn't know what we were fishing at the time. He didn't look at the flies, and brought up that bug and was like, "Oh yeah, do you know anything about this?" I was like, "How did I tell you this last time we fished?" He's like, "Oh no, I listened to a podcast and heard about it." I was like, "Huh?" I need to know what podcast. And
my
he's like,
podcast camera got drunk at the bar.
I listened to some idiot get drunk at the bar and talk about this bug. But anyways, so what I did is like I took this small mayfly and I maybe like 18 inches behind it, I threw that Clearwater emerger. And like, I mean, first cast, like as long as it was placed right, and yeah, you're with a client, it can't necessarily be right all the time.
Yep.
We're standing in pretty high water, almost up to our belt line, but it was slow. But all these fish were rising against the bank, and he was like, "Oh, they're eating dry flies." I was like, "I'm not sure if they are eating dry flies."
I'm not convinced.
And we threw that emerger, and they ate the emerger, here and there, and it was hard to see because that dry wouldn't move much.
Exactly right.
But you'd watch that fish come up, and this is where I struggle hard. Is we're trying to dial that in. And I don't know if you guys have any insight on that, but I'm terrible at it. I try hard, but...
I fished that because it was happening a lot on the Gunnison the other day, floating, and I took all the weight off the nymph rig, took the bead head nymph off, and so we're throwing a full nymph rig that
with no
doesn't
weight.
sink.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'd see fish. Like, you have to know what you're looking for. So it was all me being like, set.
I mean, it's impossible for a client.
You'd cast it in, right? And you'd see this fish track up with where you think your bugs are, and then just fucking...
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, set, and then...
And that's what it was for us. It was like, he didn't see it happening at all.
Yeah.
Like, he was watching the dry fly, and it was like, your dry's not really going to move.
No.
Basically, we're using the dry as an indicator to an extent, but it's not going to move much.
No, exactly.
We're throwing that dry so that we can see a fish behind that dry.
Yeah.
And see a fish come up to the surface is what I take it as.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm
that's
trying to get better at it,
that's
but it's
about
hard, man.
as good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly.
It's hard to figure out that.
Well, and it's not the most fun way for a client to fish because he's not getting the action.
But it was funny because I threw I
I
threw a size 22 with that. I can say it, the magic fly.
Yeah.
With the tungsten bead on it.
Yep.
Do you know the magic fly, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And it's got the tungsten bead on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a perfect imitation of what I was pumping, but it sunk too quick. It sank too quick.
Right.
Dude, that thing
and
is...
so they wouldn't eat it.
It's super, thin profile, so it sinks
Oh, it
fast.
drops like a rock.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't eat it because it was sitting too low.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we were like, all right, cool, we've casted over these fish and they quit eating.
Were you fishing those with mono?
I was fishing dry with mono, but I was fishing the emerger with fluoro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should have. And this is, like I said, this is where I struggle.
Right.
I'm trying to get better at it and be better
Did you
as a guide
grease
that
the
way.
leader?
I did not.
I don't know if it helps.
I never do that. Yeah, I don't know if it helps.
I usually grease, like, even when we were throwing dry flies there for a while, like,
Yeah.
I'll put it on there, and then I'll grease, like, the first foot.
If you believe in it.
It's just a habit.
Yeah, if you
It's just
believe
a
in
habit.
it, do it, you know?
Oh, dude, that's half the battle is if you
It's just
believe
a
in it.
habit. Yeah, you got to believe. I mean, yeah, that we've been struggling with that with a lot this fall, like early fall, where we were both struggling for a while. We're like, you'd be hot, you know, banging them up, and I'd be struggling. And then, you know, we talked to one of the legendary guys in town. I'm sure people know of him, but Jason Booth. He'd be like, dude, you got to believe in your rig.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the only way you're going to catch fish if you believe in it.
Dude.
And then all of a sudden, dude, you start throwing confidence flies that you believe in, and it's like, boom, boom,
Dude, you
boom,
guide
boom.
harder.
You
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
When you
Guide
believe
harder.
in your flies.
You're like, get it in there. Mend
dude, it's
it.
unreal. Okay, pro tip.
Yeah.
Pro tip for guys out there.
You
You got to believe in your rig.
gotta believe.
Because once you quit believing, like, occasionally I change bugs. I'm like, I don't like that rig. I'm going to change it. And I put on the original rig,
Yep.
same bugs I was throwing that we weren't catching fish on, but I believe in it more. And then boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But who knows if that's happen chance, time of day? Who knows?
I mean, but as a guide and as just a fisherman, you gotta believe in your rig. You fish it harder. You fish it better.
You do.
You do.
If you don't believe, if you're just
Yeah.
out there just, you know, throwing shit in the water, you're going to like, oh, I guess so this might work.
Yeah, I mean, if you believe your men's are tighter.
Yeah.
Like your high
But
sticking stronger.
On that trip too, like what I did is like we started nymphing again because those fish shut off after we cast over them a couple times, you know, and like it's tough sometimes with the client when those fish are coming up, you know, and emerging. Like, I mean, they're just barely below the surface, you know, and so if you cast over them too much, then they'll just shut off and go back down.
Right.
And you give them 15 minutes, they'll start coming back up again.
Exactly.
But we started nymphing after that, you know, we're like, all right, well, let's walk down to the shelf and let's nymph a little bit. And I put them on like super fast water that was like 2 feet deep.
Yeah.
And I was like, fish it. And I taught them how to fish it, you know, how to strip fast, you know, get your bugs way above
Right.
where you want it to be and let it come in, let it have time to drop. And then, yeah, it was, you know, and we were smoking fish.
Right.
And I shortened that rig up a little bit too because I was fishing a little bit deeper and I shortened it up.
Right.
And, yeah, it started working better. They weren't sitting on the bottom. They were sitting in the column.
Right.
Like they were sitting up off the bottom.
Well, and I'll even and I don't do this on the Gunnison, but I'll do it on the Taylor, and it's usually pool or fish specific. But I'll fish real shallow rigs with a tiny indicator and no weights behind that, and they'll move a tiny indicator sometimes. But you're just looking for that action next to your indicator, and I use that indicator as my
in that fast water. I was telling him, I was like, dude, your indicator's gonna fly.
Right.
Like it's not gonna be.
Oh no.
It's not gonna be subtle. Like in that fast water, your indicator's gonna fly.
No.
You're gonna see it immediately. And we missed a lot of fish too because you get that good drift and it's like strip, keep stripping your line, keep stripping. You don't even need a mend. Keep stripping, keep stripping.
Keep up.
And then you get a little slack in there and you go set the hook and there's way too much slack. Yeah. Or you throw, a lot of people instinctually just throw mends. And I remember we had that conversation. I was like, you don't need to do that.
Right. That's just,
You don't need to throw them in there.
I mean, that's why
everyone has these instinctual mends.
Well, as a guide, you're just like we were talking about. Hey, nice mend. Set that right now.
Yeah.
And just one.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see you set after you made that mend.
Exactly.
And I've done that to multiple people where it's like, I want to see you set that hook.
Great mend.
Yeah.
Set that. Let me see.
Yeah, let me see what happens when you go to set that hook. And that's it. But if you do that to people, like you're not necessarily being like, hey, you're wrong.
Right.
You're going, look, I'm trying to teach you something that you might not have seen before. Where it's like, look, I made a big mend that everyone taught me to do.
Right.
Maybe I went on a guide trip and some dude was like, oh, just throw a huge mend.
Right.
And, just throw a big loop in there. And then it's like, hey, set the hook. Let's see what happens. And most people can't. You can't set the hook.
No, you just pick up line
You
and
pick up a ton of line.
Yeah, the fish ate,
And
took a shit, smoked a cigarette,
Yeah,
and was
right.
done by the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was teaching this kid, and I've taken this kid quite a bit just on float trips, though, and he wanted to walk weight, and and I was kind of hesitant. I was like, oh, I don't really get it, why you want to walk weight. We usually float. And he, this was a learning experience for me, too, where I was like, oh, maybe I should listen to my client a little more. It's getting late in the year, I'm just like, hey, let's float, dude. Like, what are you thinking? Let's float. But I listened to him for a moment. I was like, oh, I get it. Basically, he told me, hey, I want to learn more from walkway. I'm going to be able to learn more techniques by walkway. And I was like, you're definitely right.
Yeah.
And I took that situation and treated it differently, where I was teaching them how to walk weight. Hey, we got to move. We got to work water. We work every inch of the water we can, from close to far, to up to out to back to down. We work all of it. And I told him, I looked at him, I go, if somebody walks in here below us and we just fish that hole, I don't want to see him catching a fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I want to work all of it.
I want you to use that up.
And, I kind of taught him those techniques. And a big one we were trying to work on was line management. I think we struggle with clients, Dane, where we are trying to teach people line management, because a lot of people want to use too much line.
Of course.
And I know you brought this up earlier, Dane. You're like, oh, man, I can't stand it. Like, casting too much line. I'll bring it up a little bit, but
unreal. Line management is the most important thing. Like, if you want to impress a guide, manage your line.
Yeah. Okay. So we've been talking about this, Ryan, and I know you don't guide, but like, I mean, you fish with people and you've guided friends and family and blah, blah. But we were talking about, maybe we should talk about it, but we were talking about creating a fly line. That's only 40 feet.
We did talk about this. This is a great idea.
Yeah. Only 40 feet.
Fucking perfect.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to cast past 40 feet.
Right.
You cast past 40 feet, you're done.
Right.
Get it
also,
out. Get it out of here.
That's probably 20 feet longer than it needs to be.
Exactly. Especially out of a boat, too.
Well, you got to give them 40 feet, or they just don't even feel like
exactly. Yeah. Give them 40 feet just in case.
Whatever.
But yeah, line management is key. And we worked a ton on line management. Just look, we don't necessarily have to catch fish. And he understood that. Like, look, dude, like, if fishing is slow or we're struggling, it's we can work on things while we're doing this,
right.
And this is what you wanted. You want to learn how to do some things. And we talked a lot about line management. It's like, look, I would grab the rod from him. Hey, let me see that. Let me show you something real quick. And I cast in, and I go, we don't even need to mend right off the bat. Don't even try mend. Just strip. Get all that line that you just casted back at your feet.
Right.
And then you can mend. You don't necessarily have to mend right off the bat.
Right.
And I think line management is huge with reading water.
Of course.
It really is. Yeah.
Of course it is.
It's really hard to, I guess, if you haven't been doing it for a long time or haven't been watching it happen for a long time, all those microcurrents.
Yeah.
I mean, there's little currents that'll like bow your line or pull your line, even though it looks like it's just a straightforward run.
I mean, the catch and release is a great example of that.
Yeah,
you think you have this perfect drift, but you're dragging your flies off the bottom.
Well, and like a lot of people who haven't done it, obviously don't see it like we do, where it's like, hey, as much as you thought that was a great drift, it's swinging. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? It was perfect. Like it was swinging just tap.
Right.
And that's tough because you need to do it and do it and do it to understand how you need to work your line.
Right.
And you can, here's the saying, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Well, dude, I was thinking about this today also. So I kept, driving into this dude's brain from the boat, like, you need to cast like downstream. You need to fish downstream. Not like straight in front of you, obviously, but downstream.
There's a ton of that cooler. I could hand it to you.
But there's water also where you want to cast next to the boat because we're going way slower.
Exactly.
Or, how is it?
If you if I'm going slow in the boat,
if I'm holding us back in fast water,
cast behind the boat,
cast back there, especially when it's only one dude, because now you cast downstream straight into a drift that ain't worth a shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you might as well have not even.
And that's what I tell. I'm like, okay, let's either if I'm anchored or I'm moving slow, I tell them, hey, fish it like you're walk wading. Let's fish it like we're walk wading. Especially people that are experienced. Like when you slow down, you're like, hey, fish like you're walk wading. They look at you and you go, fish it upstream. Fish upstream of the boat, and that way you get a good long drift.
Right.
And I mean, it's all line management. Sometimes you can high stick. If it's close to you can just high stick.
Yeah.
If that current's messed up, if that current's real turbulent, you can just high stick. Just pick up your line, strip in all that slack, high stick.
Right.
I mean, you can even high stick out in the middle of the current occasionally. But it's just that line management is huge.
Well, and it's important everywhere. I mean, you watched us go, we go to Andros and we're very good at managing line on a river. You get it on a boat and you're all of a sudden an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Your line's all over the place. It's all over the other.
Oh, yeah.
It's all over someone else's feet. It's all over your feet.
Who's that?
It's in the front of the bow.
Oh, it was freaking It was your family friend that I took fishing the other day. It was Tom.
Oh, yeah, Tom and John.
And he bonefished me hard. And I called him out on it, dude. He like had this fish on, and he's fighting this fish, and he hands me his line. And he goes, "There's a knot in here, fix that." And I was like, "Man, you just bonefished me hard." And he like looked at me, I go, "You ever been bonefishing before?" And he just gave me this look. I was like, "Dude, when we're on a bonefish boat, like the other person manages your line, make sure you don't get knots and tangles while this fish is running."
Right. That's
I was
your
like,
job.
You
when
know
you're sitting down.
how much of a peasant I just felt like when you just handed me your line. Hey, fix this. I'm like, and he's fighting this fish and it's running. He's like, "I got a knot in my line. You got to fix it." And just hands me the line. I'm like, whoa.
I hope he
that
called.
was a saltwater move right there,
yeah,
buddy.
that is a saltwater move.
That was
Did he call
a huge
you?
saltwater move.
Did he call you boy?
No, he didn't call me boy.
That's too bad.
Yeah, no, I set the precedent where he wasn't going to call me boy.
I love guys that put you guys in check every now and then.
Right. We're getting. I mean, we're not off topic, but we're talking about a lot of different.
I mean, how
stuff.
often do we stay on topic?
Turn back around to the pheasant tail because you did bring up talking or fishing the pheasant tail.
Yeah.
So I did listen to a podcast with Yvon Chouinard.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Patagonia guy?
Yeah. My brother just sent that to me. I
the
haven't
Meat
listened
Eater
to
one.
It. Yeah,
it was really good. And you know, I like the Meat Eater podcast. It's good, but you know, sometimes Ranella talks a little too much, and maybe I do too. I don't know. But
it is a podcast.
It is a podcast. But this one, you could actually, you know, he let Yvon Chouinard talk for a while. But speaking of pheasant tail, which is one of my favorite flies, I've talked about a ton on this podcast.
Yeah, baby.
It's also his favorite fly.
All right.
And he said
he
fishes it for everything. Everything. Doesn't matter what species, everything.
Right.
He said his favorite bonefish fly is a pheasant tail.
How big is a phaisant tail? I remember him talking about it.
He ties it in a 4 or 2, and he throws big hackle on it. Like, I mean, big partridge hackle.
It's gotta have
How
hackle.
long are the pheasant tail fibers that he's tying with?
And where are you getting these pheasants?
Right, yeah, where are these pheasants coming from?
Massive.
But he said it's unreal how well this fly will work for anything. He goes, you can catch panfish, you can catch bonefish, you can catch salmon.
Wasn't the whole thing he like took a year and the only fly he ever threw for that whole year was a pheasant tail? Yeah.
Different variations of pheasant tail.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't remember, there was a number he stated where it was a certain amount of species he's caught on the pheasant tail.
Right.
And it was absolutely astonishing.
Right.
How many different species he's caught on a pheasant tail.
Dude.
Imagine catching a pike on a pheasant tail.
I can do. Hey,
I was just thinking that. How the fuck?
I can go into that with the gotcha.
Yeah, true.
That catches a lot of fish. I throw it as a stinger all the time.
A stinger, the gotcha.
Yeah. Fish hammer it, dude. They hammer it.
But I wanted to bring that up just because the pheasant tail talk. But
How many articulations for a pike fly? It's like 9 pheasant tails attached to each other.
Are you still fishing a pheasant tail at that
That's
point?
9 of them. But
Okay, well, let's talk about this.
And can you do that?
So is that still considered a pheasant tail throwing all those bugs? You know, like are we still?
I would say no.
Okay, well, how's this? So this kid came up to me in the bistro the other day while we were having some drinks, and he listens to the podcast. He goes, I have a question for you. I want to talk about something. He goes, how do you feel about peg eggs? Is that still a fly?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Who's been getting drunk at a bar talking too much?
Is that still a fly?
Hold on a minute, though.
What's the etiquette there? Okay, let's go through. All right, let's start out by going through what a peg egg is, because a lot of people don't know. So there's different ways to peg an egg, and we've talked about peg and squirmies on the podcast. But a peg egg basically it's a plastic bead that looks like a trout egg or a salmon egg or whatever. You can throw them. You can get different sizes. You can get glass beads. You can get plastic beads. All kinds of stuff. But you can either peg it with a little, like a stopper. Mm-hmm. I've seen people use like toothpicks. Yeah. But you can get like plastic stoppers, right?
You just shove it in there and cut it off.
I mean, trout beads even make specific pegs for it.
Yeah, or like I tie mine. I don't use the pegs. I tie mine in.
The triple.
Yeah, where you go in a couple times, wrap it around, go in once more. But basically it's a bead, no hook on it. It's just like a craft bead. It looks like a craft bead to the normal person. Yeah. And then you tie a hook below it, a blank hook. Most times.
Yeah.
Most times it's a blank
about
hook.
a foot below it.
I would say that hook. So here's the problem that people have with it. So this originated in Alaska, if I'm not mistaken.
From my
Originated in Alaska.
definitely in Alaska.
From my understanding, yeah.
And it was made to catch trout and salmon. But instead of using like the regular foam egg or whatever, where it's tied onto the hook, they were pegging these eggs and throwing the hook below it. And a lot of times they were throwing it way below, like 4 or 5 inches below, and they're snagging a lot of fish.
Right.
And what we try and do, is throw them an inch to an inch and a half below your bead.
Exactly.
And you normally don't snag them.
Get a lot of. I get
a lot of
90% mouth hooks on them.
Yeah.
Well, it's no more snagging than if you're throwing a double nymph rig.
Right.
In my
True.
opinion.
Right.
True.
It's
a good way to put it. But basically, he was curious. What kind of the etiquette is there. What kind of morality is there?
So when you were talking peg egg, I thought we were going straight into eggs pegged with worms.
Oh no!
I thought that's what we were. talking about.
That's
I've never taken it that far.
That's a different subject. But I've heard people of using the peg egg and throwing like I've done it before. I've thrown like a zebra midge below it. And you're like, well, they're either hitting the egg or the zebra midge.
It doesn't matter.
But it's not like you're throwing like a number 6 hook at them or a number 8 hook.
Right.
No way. Okay, here's an ed. All right. I'm getting way too deep into this. I got all these thoughts going on in my brain right now. But so like I remember one time at one of the fly shops, I was talking to him about pegging eggs, or just the trout bead setup.
Right.
And I was looking for a size hook, like just a bare hook, just tying hooks. And he goes, "Oh yeah, you're gonna want these 20s." And I looked at him, and I was like, "What? No, man. I'm looking for like 16s,
right.
bro.
16.
I want 16s, man. Like
16's the one."
Yeah, I feel like 16s are good, but like, is that too big? Because he was very concerned that I was throwing 16s underneath the trout bead.
No.
And he wanted me to throw 20s.
Dude, the thing is, you're not concerned when somebody's throwing a fucking 16 pheasant tail.
Right. It's the same hook set.
They're in the mouth, dude. I swear. Like,
it takes me longer to get a 20 hook out of a fish than it takes me to get a 16 hook out of a fish.
That's a good point.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
I'm just trying to. I'm just throwing feelers out there, man. Like,
dude,
don't hate on me, bro.
Cameron.
I'm mad at that guy.
Yeah, that's.
You know the guy. Dude.
Well, you know how guys get. They get all principled on there's certain things that they believe, and there's probably some other guy that told them that knew better than they did at the time, and they just stick with it and believe it, and they get stuck in the dogma of what they believed.
But if you're not pegging the hook 4 or 5 inches below it,
right,
then it's really not a big deal.
I feel like as long as you're not pegging it that far.
Like I peg
but
mine.
There's
like,
a lot of states that have outlawed it too.
Mine's like half an inch.
Yeah, if I can, I'll do it. I'll do it as tight as I can.
I mean, I fish an inch and a half almost always below mine, and I very, very rarely foul hook fish on a take. Very, very rarely. Very rarely.
Because I'll tell you how I do it is I tie the hook on, and I also thread mine through the bead, but I go the long end, so I'll like set the egg.
Oh, that's
exactly
a good idea.
Where I want it,
right?
And then I go through with the long end, and then you have the egg exactly
a good idea.
where you want it.
Right.
That is a good idea. Thought about that.
Yeah.
I just peg them so I can kind of just get them where I want them.
You do. You just peg them.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
I'm just too lazy to tie the knot.
I know, and I mean, I don't think it's unethical to do it.
I don't think so
there's a lot of states who have outlawed it. I think Wyoming was trying to outlaw it for a while.
Really?
Montana might. Don't. No. I mean, this isn't
right.
I haven't looked it up.
This is all anecdotal.
Because I remember one year I went to Wyoming. You go fish Grays Reef, and they were talking about outlawing them for a while. And I mean, I threw them.
Well, unless someone knows something that I don't, I see zero immorality in it. I think it's completely ethical way of fishing it. When I do fish it, I get 99% mouth hooks.
Here's another option. Just while we're talking about the peg egg, and I was telling this kid about it. It's called an ale egg, and this guy, I hope I'm saying his last name right. His name is Lee Novity, or Novity or something like that.
Okay.
And he sells these packages like a tying package where you can tie these ale eggs.
Ale eggs?
He calls them ale eggs.
Huh.
And basically like gives you beads for it, gives you the hooks for it, gives you thread, gives you wire. And I don't know how many of these packages will make, but you can buy them from them. And it looks like a zebra midge, like you thread the hook and then you put the egg on.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You thread it enough so that the egg sticks, like the bead sticks on the hook.
Uh-huh.
And then you tie in wire and you wrap it like a zebra midge and then you tie it off. So basically like the egg is right at the eye and then the back end of the shank looks like a zebra mitch.
Yeah. Okay.
And he swears by him. So here's an option.
Louis ties them.
Yeah, and I think this guy lives in Colorado.
Okay.
Dude, you ever fished an otter egg?
Are those like the
The
gel
soft-
ones? Yeah, I've
like
never
a
fished
salmon
one.
egg,
I've
dude.
never fished those. Have you?
Oh yeah.
Are they good?
Dude, honestly, you like, it is almost like a salmon egg. You just like bait a hook with it and then tie it with thread on either side.
Huh.
And it's just an egg on a hook.
It's just a soft egg.
It's just a soft egg,
Well,
but it feels like an egg. You're
right.
like, oh man, this is.
But do you think fish grab that and they're like, oh, that feels like a real egg?
No,
I'm a
not at all.
See, that's what I would be worried about is they do eat that as a real egg and they inhale it.
With the hook in there?
And it's more like an artificial. I mean, this is just a concern I would have.
Oh,
with
okay.
it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It might be too natural to a fish, and they might just inhale it. Like
yeah,
this
I
is what you're
don't.
saying.
I don't fish them. I have before, but I peg.
Are they designed where you can peg those as well?
No,
Okay.
but you can buy them in like the fly tying section of most fly
I've
shops.
seen those. Yeah.
I've never seen them.
They're like soft little gooey eggs.
Yeah. Huh.
And you just
Exactly.
put them on a
And
hook.
if you've seen the veil egg, that's tied with an otter egg, but it's got McFly around.
Oh, yeah.
Or like some other kind of wool around it to make it look like a veil egg.
Right.
Huh.
Well, man, people have been doing this egg thing for a while, I guess.
Well, I mean, fish eat eggs, right?
They tend to.
Dude, glow
You gotta
bugs
stay-
work great too.
You got to stay above the
So-
game. You know?
That's right.
I guess so. Same kid I was talking to wanted us to talk about this as well. He was out fishing, and this kind of what brought up the peg egg thing too, because he was fishing some eggs, like looking for some salmon. And a boat came by, and he was pretty curious on the etiquette of wade fishing to boat fishing. Like, what is a wader to do? What is a boat fisherman to do?
Salmon's a good example to use as well.
It is.
Definitely.
I don't know. I don't need to talk the whole time. Do you want to touch?
Yeah,
What do
I
you
would-
do? Like, okay, let's say you're floating down and you come up on a walk wader. What do you do?
I first, at this point, I'm pretty quick at making decisions in the boat. But I'll first figure out what is the most courteous thing I can possibly do for this person. If I can fit behind them,
Yeah.
bet your ass I will float behind a walk wader and not disturb their water at all. If
I've
they're-
done it where like people start walking back towards the bank,
Yeah, and
and you
them.
tell them, "Hey, no,
Hey, I'm
take
gonna
2
go
more
behind
steps
you."
out, and
Right.
I'll go behind you."
Right.
Yep. And they're always like, thanks.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, maybe they have to stop fishing for a second because you're in their back cast.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, I didn't touch your water.
I've also had some indescript guides literally just come straight into my hole, pull a boat right over where I was fishing, and get their clients out, walk them down below me, and start fishing. Just
So-
like, damn, man.
Brutal. That's not cool.
It's
That's
just-
not in the etiquette.
No, it's just rude.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, if I can go behind somebody, I will.
Right.
If I'm floating a boat and somebody's walking,
Right.
I'll go behind them.
Right.
Because the way I look at it, like, we have the advantage. We're in a boat.
Dude,
We
it's
have plenty of water
That's
to
one
cover.
hole.
Yeah.
Like, keep
Right.
going.
Yeah,
Right.
you can leave them one hole. You know, and he didn't know exactly who it was. I don't either. Who did this? But he was saying that a guide had come by, and if I remember it right, I had a couple cervezas that night. I think he said that he pretty much like rolled over the hole and then stopped right below him and then started fishing. And he said the guy was cool, like he talked to him for a minute.
Right.
But it's still, he was curious on. I again, I don't know if I was remembering it right.
Right.
But the etiquette there is, it can be tough at times trying to figure out what to do. But in a boat, you have the advantage.
Yeah.
So you try and give that walkwater as much advantage as they can.
Right.
And I've asked people too, you know, like I might float behind them and then something happens to a rig or whatever, and I look back and I go, hey, is it cool if I stop for just a minute? We're not going to fish. I just need to re-rig. I've done that move before.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is it okay? Like, are you going to be okay with that?
Right.
We're not going to fish. And I'll tell my clients, hey, don't fish.
Right.
We're going to re-rig something real quick.
I mean,
Or I'll come up to somebody and be like, hey, is it all right if I stop below you?
Right.
I'll give you a wide berth. Like, let me re-rig.
I mean, I think the whole thing here is it's all about communication.
And we bring that up a lot on the podcast.
Yeah, it's all about communication. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but if you're talking to the fisherman and letting him know what your intentions are, and you're not here to screw up his water, to blow his hole, that's, just communicate that with him so he understands what you're trying to achieve. If you just go do stuff, it might be some new fisherman that thinks you're screwing them up even though you're not.
Yeah.
It's all about communicating. And, it's also about the walk waiter communicating with you too, letting him know what he wants out of you. Sometimes you just got to go.
Yeah.
There's sometimes you don't have a choice.
The river doesn't really stop.
No.
Yeah.
So,
No.
you're going to have to you something.
Well, here's
It
something.
looked like you were about to say something.
Yeah, there was an instance that is...
Sorry, Ryan. It looked like Dane was...
It's pretty interesting, this one right here. So there's, on the lower Gunnison, there's a spot where one of our buddies, that's a guide, he has a drift boat, and there's only really one way to take this shelf, right? And this guy is standing there. Dude tries to communicate with him like, hey, I have to go through this boat chute. Like, I can't go anywhere else. And so the dude doesn't move, though. He's like, nope, doesn't matter. And so this dude took the high road, like, to a level that I wouldn't think that this particular guide would take. He stops his boat, right, anchors up above, gets his clients out, has them walk behind the walk waiter, and then he shimmies and shakes his boat behind this dude way over a shelf that is and this dude's standing chest deep, standing on the fish,
Right.
So he knows this.
Oh my
This
God.
dude's been guiding here for 20 some years, so he knows where the fish are. But it's just like, man, sometimes like you gotta just let them go.
Yeah, I mean,
Let the boats go because they're gonna be gone in a
Yeah.
second.
we're all here to fish, man. Like, it's all about courtesy.
Totally. I bet when I'm walkwaying, because I float guide a lot too, like, so when I was walkwaying the other day, like, I had this kid fishing the shelf and this boat starts coming up. And he goes, oh, this boat is coming. I go, you're good. Keep fishing.
Yeah.
He goes, what do you mean? I go, keep fishing. He'll give you space.
Right.
Like, if I knew the boat coming by, I go, he'll give you space. You keep fishing. It's all good. And he kind of gave me this look. I go, look, dude, it's fine.
Right.
Like, they have the advantage. They're in a boat.
People know the game.
Yeah. And I go, you keep fishing it. He's not going to row over your line. He's not going to, just keep fishing. You're good, man. And I get that, they're like, oh, God, it's intimidating when a boat's coming down the river. Oh, geez, boat's coming. No, you're good.
Right.
We're walkwaying. You're fine.
Right.
They have the advantage. We're good.
Well, so this happened.
And that's how I treat when I'm in a boat.
And that's how it should be treated. I mean,
like 99% of the time. But this one instance that I'm talking about, it was like, dude,
right. That doesn't happen.
just
very
like
often.
watch
Right.
out. Like you're in the boat chute,
Yeah.
dude. Like, come on.
Yeah. And why are you standing in the boat chute?
Because the other options for this dude, besides getting his clients out and walking, were driving his boat into a strainer.
Right.
And that's not.
No.
You don't want to kill people about
It goes both ways, man. Walk waiters, you got to be aware.
Oh,
These
yeah.
boats have to come down the river, and sometimes there's one route to go.
Oh, yeah.
Be aware of what's going on around you. And again, it just falls on communication. But some guys are just going to be assholes, and there's not much you can do about it. But you can't go smoking a fisherman in a drift boat either.
Yeah, you can't be doing
No,
that.
you can't. You can't.
That doesn't look good.
No, that's not good for
Not
you.
look good for business.
No, but this happened to me on the Taylor. I was just throwing streamers up the Taylor. I had moved a really nice fish, and he whiffed on the fly, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to change up the color on this articulation. I'm going to go back at it. But I was going to, marinate on that fish.
There you were, streamer fishing
There I
again.
was.
It's probably high sun.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I'm sitting there kind of waiting, just doing everything I can not to start casting at this fish again. Whether it's going to work, I don't know. But these 4 kayakers come down and just start play boating in this hole.
Oh, nice.
The one that I'm standing over.
Good for them.
Like, one thing is them just cruising by, it's fine.
Yeah,
But they just
exactly.
start bouncing off this rock and they're cycling it. And I'm just standing there like, you guys serious? And they're not even paying me any mind. They don't even look up at me. I know they saw me.
Yeah.
And they play boated for 5 minutes. And I just got up and walked back down river to go to my car. And I'm like, man, that was just kind of rude.
And, I'm honestly to the point now, I mean, this late in the game, this late in the season too, where you're just a little grouchy because
Right.
you've been running, trips all summer. You're in the sun. You're freaking worn out. And I'm to the point too where I'll tell somebody straight up, like, hey, you're not doing it right. This is wrong.
Right.
You're not supposed to do that. Like, be curious to everybody. We're all trying to recreate. We're all trying to have a good time.
Yeah, no.
There's plenty of water to play in.
Right.
Like, go play somewhere else. And I've said it to people on recreational boating trips too, where I've been fishing with clients, and you'll be fishing, like, let's say we're fishing left bank. There's plenty of space right on the right side to get around me.
Yeah.
I know you're coming. I've seen you from a mile away. I know you're coming. I know you're going to come behind me. I know you're going to be on my ass in no time.
Right.
I'm back rowing.
Right.
We're fishing left bank, and they'll row right where you're fishing. Just come right in between you and your fishing. I've told people, like, hey, next time, go around me.
Right.
If you see me fishing this bank, go to the other side. There's plenty of room. And if there's not, I'll slow down and make sure you have plenty of room.
Right.
And I've told them, and they just give you this look, and you're like, look, dude, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm out here making money, and here you are drinking beer, partying with your buddies on a playboat. Like, that's fine. That's all getting good fun.
Right.
I'm not trying to be a dick about it.
Right.
But be courteous to everybody. We're out here trying to make a living.
Right.
You're out there partying.
Right.
Like, I don't know. That's the way I think about it. Like, sometimes I've been an asshole, and I'm like, hey, don't do that. That's not okay. Next time, go around.
Right. Well, and I pulled a dick move the other day on the river. I'm not the best rower, and I was supposed to go river left. There's a guy fishing river right, but I couldn't go down the middle channel, and I missed that left channel.
Blew it, dude.
So I'm just like,
I would have been yelling at you, throwing rocks at you, dude, casting at you.
And I'm telling this walk waiter, I'm telling the walk waiter, I was like, hey, I am so sorry. I'm not a good rower. I'm just learning. I'm just getting better at this. I'm so sorry. And the guy was completely
But if somebody
awesome.
said that to me, I'd be like, that's fine, man. I hope you get better.
Right. Well, and then
I hope you get better at it.
And then that's when I go from courteous to like, you know what, man?
Hope you get better someday.
Start slapping the water at him.
I've had that before, though. Like, I've had some, I was floating early one year, like February. The ice just came off. I was like, oh, I'm going to go float. And my buddy and I went and floated. And it was right at the put in. There's two guys fishing, and he wanted to row, so I let him row, and I was fishing. And, like, right at the put in, there's some people fishing this one hole. There's only, like, that time of year, it's running like 150 CFS. There's one hole to fish.
Right.
And so I told him, row, and I was like, hey, just give him a wide berth and just motor through the hole. There's no way we could go around these people. I was like, just give him a wide berth, river right, and just push and get some speed, and then just lift your oars and go through. Water's clear, like, do what you do. And this guy on the bank started casting at us, and he hit my boat with his nymph rig. And I looked at him, and I went, are you serious, man? And he looks at me and goes, you guys need to move on. Get out of here. And I was like, dude, we're moving. It's running 150 CFS. We can only go so fast. There's not a lot of water in the river. We're moving through your hole, man. Like, we're getting by.
Too early in the season for that behavior.
Exactly. He's like, it's February and we're already fighting on the river. Like, this usually doesn't happen till August. Like, we usually don't get in fights till August.
Like, come on, Bart.
But I mean, that's just some people aren't courteous, some people are.
Just like everywhere in the world, man. There's different personalities, and you're gonna have to see them all, unfortunately, and some of them are gonna suck.
Dude, I had another guide's clients hook my clients in the head. And
yeah, you told me that. I
they
remember
were
that.
Simultaneously rolling over our hole, and this guide did not tell her clients to stop casting. And I was like, well, you're number one, you just rode over all the fish.
Right.
Now my client has a nymph rig in his head. So what are you doing?
It's a rough situation.
And like,
we'll put it this way too: the guide that was doing it was a little green.
Little green.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know this guide that well.
God, I don't. How green can you be?
But it's like, hey, come on, you're in the hole, and now your flies are in my client's head.
Right.
It's pretty rough.
And this guide's like, you need to cut the flies, and I just grabbed the rig and I doubled it up, and I was like, nope, these are mine now.
Just took them all.
I have them,
and I'll have that.
I still have them.
I'll have that leader also. Thank you.
Got the guy's
I just
name
start
on
pulling
it.
the line.
Yeah. I'm gonna take this to backing. You better crank down your
This is
drag.
mine now.
You're gonna need a new loop knot on your fly line.
Give me that rod.
Just talking about breaking lines a little bit.
No.
We can go this way. I guess we can go two ways from this. So fishing, let's just say some private property. We don't have to say where yet, but some private property. There's some big fish in there. And
yeah, baby.
actually had to break off a fish to let it live.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And a lot of people, the client that I had that day,
$50 fish.
the client that I had that day did not quite understand breaking off the fish to let it live until I explained it. And this was an interesting concept, and it can not only be applied on private water, but on all water.
Exactly.
Depending on the situation. And this fish got a little bit too much line out and started running upstream pretty far. And part of that could have been me about, tighten the drag just a little bit, teaching how to fight the fish a little better. But, because the client brought it up. He goes, I learned something about that. I didn't really understand what you were doing there because I grabbed the rod from him because his fish was running and he was a little bit older. He could get around, but I needed him to move up. I was like, hey, maybe we have a chance.
Right.
And I grabbed the rod and say, hey, you move up. I'll move up faster and I'll get up to where you can stand and I'll hold the rod till you get there. And the fish kept going. And he goes to grab the rod and I go, nope. And I point the rod and break the line. And he kind of went, well, what? Like, he was very baffled by that whole thing.
Right. And it was probably one of the best fish of the trip, too.
Exactly.
So that's a little bit heartbreaking.
It was pretty heartbreaking. That was the biggest fish that guy's ever hooked in his life.
Right.
And, he didn't really understand what was going on until I explained it. I go, look, if we let these fish run, especially in this shallow water, there's not a lot of water right now. If I let them run and run and run, they're just going to beat themselves up. They're going to wrap. They're going to die. They're going to wear themselves out.
Exactly.
Or they're just going to beat themselves or exhaust themselves. Right. And so it was an interesting concept, breaking off a fish to let it live. And like I said, you can apply that to tailwaters, to freestones, to all that stuff. So when you hook these big fish, or when if they wrap themselves around a rock or whatever and you can't get them undone or wrap them around a log, if you can, save them, but if not, break it, and let them live. Because most times those hooks are going to come out. Right. I would say, I don't know. Do those...
Oh, yeah. They spit these hooks all the time. Same thing with the deep hooked fish. Just count that a lost fly. That fish will spit that hook. It will dissolve. It will break down over time. And it'll just dislodge itself, too. Just like the human body has a way of pushing things out that are unnatural. Your fly is not worth a dead fish.
Yeah. No, it's not. But going into that, and Dane and I talked about this a little bit on the ride over here, but was rod angle while fighting a fish. We worked a lot about rod angle, how to fight these fish with the rod angle and what rod angle you need to keep and how you need to move fish, pull them a certain direction. And, the way I teach it, and Dane, you might be a little bit different, but the way I teach it is kind of, if we're walk weighting and we're nymphing or whatever, I always set to a downstream angle. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. Always set into a downstream angle.
Of course.
Fish are looking upstream. So if you pull those flies upstream, most times you pull them out of their mouths.
Yeah.
Occasionally you get a hook set.
Yeah.
Most times it's not a good hook set.
Yeah, and sometimes there's no way around it.
Yeah, but if you can pull it downstream and set that hook downstream, it's going to hook right in the side of the fish's mouth. Perfect. Good. You got a good hook set. What I teach is keep that rod angle. Keep that same rod angle you set that hook. We don't want to go low. We don't want to bring that rod tip towards the water.
Nope.
We can go up with it,
and
I try and keep that same rod angle. You see a lot of people right when they set that hook,
right,
they change that rod angle and go upstream.
Yeah.
And occasionally you can do that to pull fish into slower water, but not often. Most times you want to try and move them downstream instead of move them up.
I feel like that's fly fishing video stuff. They hook a fish and they instantly want to give that rod more play.
They're moving their rod all over the place.
Why are you moving your rod so much? Is this fish going back and forth?
Where'd you see this?
Right. You see it all the time on fishing videos. What are you doing? There's no cut bank. You're not pulling them out of weeds.
And so, even on the boat, we teach that a lot too. Hey, keep that same rod angle.
Yeah.
Keep the same rod angle you just set that hook.
Yep.
And that's a tough one for a lot of people because everyone wants to go straight upstream right after they set the hook.
Right.
Don't do that.
No.
And most times it comes out. I know you want to talk about it a little bit, Dane. I don't know if you have much to say. I don't know if I touched it.
The thing that I see the most, especially from the boat, is that people are they let the fish run and run and run, and they'll let it go into the faster water and cruise downstream and just hold the rod and just let it happen to them. It's like at that point, you can turn your rod and turn his head.
Yeah. Oh, almost turned this podcast into a disaster. Almost turned everything off by ripping the cord. Dane's over here playing it. Like,
Dane,
he's giving us the
video.
motions. Yeah. I can put that on video if you want.
Damn it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's important to be able
Keep
to
going. Do the rod thing that you were doing.
No, I broke the headphones, so.
Oh, they don't work anymore?
No, they work now. I plugged it back in.
Save.
I turned the fish's head and made the headphones come out. But yeah, I mean, it's just important to be able to, like, you need to land that fish. You don't want to play him forever and exhaust him and tire him out and make him burn every bit of energy he has, because then you're going to want to get a grip and grin with him, and now he's going to be dead.
Right.
It's like you need to fight that fish well. You need to treat him with some respect.
Right.
You know?
Oh, totally.
Well, and here's a good example. I was fishing with my cousin the other day on the Taylor, and we were
I was
fishing.
going to ask you about that, but
we were fishing this slack water off, on the opposite side of the bank, and to land that fish, you had to land him across pretty quick currents, Taylor, and it's still pumping. So the first thing we did is we talked about, I was like, this isn't steelhead. You don't just swing this fish downstream as far as you can until you can finally land him. Like this, we want to land this fish quick.
Yeah.
You're on 3 and 4X.
Well, I mean, and also don't overplay a fish that's 12 inches.
Right. Exactly. Well, and that was why I did a quick tutorial. It's like, what's going to happen is you're going to hook this fish, and the second he turns in that current, I need you to take your rod downstream and bring that fish to the bank. As quick as possible, you have about, 30, 40 yards to land that fish before it's just gone. And he was like, well, I don't want to break it off. I'm like,
don't worry about
that. I'd rather you break this fish off than take this fish 100 yards down current.
Oh, totally.
And so, that's what we did, and we lost a couple fish doing it. But I'd much rather lose a fish.
Like I said, a lot of people want to play, and we've touched on it, but like a lot of people want to play those fish too hard. But if you keep that same rod angle, you can still horse that fish, 12-inch fish. You can get them going.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just pull them.
Yeah.
And get them exactly where you want them to go.
Right.
But if you change that rod angle, all of a sudden you're changing that hook angle too. Yeah. And either that hook is going to pop out or that fish is going to be able to run on you, because all of a sudden you just change that rod angle where all of a sudden you have the upper hand. Now you don't, because you changed that rod angle. Now you don't have the upper hand, and that fish is going to boogie on you.
Yeah.
And it's going to go upstream because all of a sudden you give them the chance. If you pull them upstream, so to put it this way, like if you're fishing right side, nymphing right side of the river right, if we're in a boat or even just, I guess it depends if you're walk wading. Let's say you're fishing upstream to your right-hand side, and you set the hook to the left.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you change that rod angle and go right, that fish is going to start moving upstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has an easier chance to run upstream on you, I think.
Yeah, no, the only reason to change the rod angle is to stop him potentially from going the direction that he is bolting for.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not to look sweet. It's not sweet.
You also don't have the advantage because if you set it downstream, most times it's going to hook in their right side of their mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can pull their head.
Oh, yeah.
And you can move their head where you want them to go. If you start pulling that upstream, now you're not pulling their head, you're pulling them up.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to run up.
Right.
And then you have to change that rod angle again to try and get them back down.
Exactly right.
And so, that's hard. Again, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why on like a float trip, like you need to listen to your guide on that one. And I tell people
you're going. Do it. I know where you're going. Do it.
I'm like, dude, you're fighting this fish now. And like you need to listen to what I'm saying, because if you want to land this fish and land him quickly and land him respectively, like just do what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people they just let it take line, and it's like, dude,
I love that where they're like fucking lightsabers, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, and they're
but
just moving
at the same time, like you need.
What are you doing?
Sometimes I have to explain it to people. I'm like, yo, that's a sword. Like, turn it this way now.
Yeah.
Like, don't drop your rod tip at him and turn it.
Get it high, get it high, get it
turn
high.
your angle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be the number one thing you guys see is people just dropping that rod tip.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy how people let that happen, too.
Oh, especially if it's their first big fish.
Yeah.
They freak out, dude, and they pinch that line to
Yep.
that cork harder than you've ever fucking seen in your life.
I know.
And it's just
Just
like
white knuckler, dude.
And you just
white
wait.
knuckler.
You're just waiting for that pop. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that fish is gone. And you don't have time to tell them, too.
that fish is gonna break something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether
Yeah.
it's this rod or your line or you're going to break that cork by white knuckling it that
Yeah,
hard.
you're gonna squeeze the cork in half.
Well, and do you guys see clients do this all the time? So they hook a fish, they drop the rod tip. Now they just have a straight line connection
Oh, yeah.
from the rod.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, got to get that rod tip up, and then you see them pick the rod tip up and just pop the fish up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that
a lot of
happens a
them
lot.
don't understand, too, like, how to play them.
There's
and,
a-
like, you try and do a tutorial, you know, where, like, you'll pull the line.
Right.
And, like, hey, I'm pretend like I'm a fish, you
Right.
know, and you look
I mean,
like an idiot out there running around.
I think
Yeah.
you should do that
pulling
to
line.
every never ever.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, and I do. I mean, I do it. Dane does it. Most guides do it, and they teach them how
Yeah.
to pull.
You gotta know what
and
that
how
fish
to
feels
let
like.
that fish give, and how to pick up that line.
Right.
And
And get
when
your hand
you're-
off the reel.
When I tell you to get that rod up, I'm saying, you know, get it up and let a little line go as you get it up,
Yeah,
but
it's-
keep the tension. And then you see a lot of people get their rod up, and then there's no tension.
Right.
And you're like, what are you doing, man? Like, get the tension.
It's-
We talked about this. Like, keep the rod up and keep the tension.
Oh, man.
You know, and that rod's straight, and that fish is just running around. You're like, get the tension, you know, get it in.
And then the fish is gone, and they're like stripping in that line. Like, where'd it go?
And you're like, oh, it's
Well,
gone.
oh.
It's gone. It shook the hook. It's
I
gone.
don't know how to tell you.
That's a
but,
good way. I mean, they shake hooks quick.
Oh, absolutely.
They shake
Absolutely.
hooks quick.
They can, even if you're fighting him
Oh,
as
yeah.
you perceive perfectly. A lot of times they just come
Come unbuttoned. Yeah, they come
Yeah.
unbuttoned.
It
And
happens.
It does. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
That for me would be the most frustrating thing about being a guide is like, God, I cannot fight this fish for you. I cannot. I can't tell you what the tension is. I can't tell you when to retrieve. You gotta feel
No,
it.
You
know?
definitely can't say it fast enough.
No, you can't.
You start tripping over yourself.
Yeah, it's just word vomit at that time. You're like, I tried to get it out,
and
but I
then
couldn't.
the fish is gone. You're like,
Yeah, and you're like, all right. But then there's a good opportunity to take a moment.
Exactly. Like now
Like,
you tell
all
them
right.
what just happened.
Let's take a moment and talk about what just happened.
Exactly.
Because I couldn't get it out quick enough, what I wanted to say. By the time it was all going down, let's stop and talk about
Right.
how that happened
Right.
and what you need to do better next time.
Right.
You know, or what you can work on. Like, this is how you actually do it. Because a lot of the times, even with those beginners, you can go through all that stuff, and then they hook a fish, and everything's out the
Oh,
window.
of course. The rush of the chase is now in fact
all out the
adrenaline's
window.
running. Yeah.
And you're like, all right, remember what we did in the parking lot? Let's do that.
Right.
You know, like, remember how we did that? We need to go back to the basics
Right.
and do that.
right.
And that's tough. That's tough for a lot of people.
Right.
But
Well, at that property, same thing. I had a kid. He's not a never ever. He could fish, but he'd never fought a big fish before. So I literally got on the water.
cooler's full.
Yeah, no, dude, you're prepared. Thanks.
Oh yeah,
man.
dude.
Why is there an elk? Why is there backstrap in that cooler?
Hold on. Why is there blood all over that cooler? Well, I've been up since 4 a.m. and packing out a moose. Okay.
Damn, it's a Miller Lite too. Those beers are red.
Red beers. Sorry.
No, but I mean, I fake fought fish for 30 minutes with him until he got it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hook a big fish and
Yeah.
you're going to be toast.
Well,
But his big issue is he couldn't get his hand off that reel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, hey, you feel that tension? That's
Yeah.
too much tension. You got to
Yeah.
get the hand off that reel. Can't reel when he's running.
well, and I tell people too, you know, especially people who fish, you're like, hey, the drag's set where it needs to be set.
yeah, exactly.
Don't touch the reel.
Right.
You know, like, use your finger until we get to the reel. Drag set.
Right.
It's where it needs to be. But when I took these guys out, you know, the property, we floated the day before on the gunny, and I took them out to the property, and I go, hey, look, we're going to have to fight fish a little bit differently than we did the other day.
You're letting 12-inch fish scream.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're not going to let these fish scream line, because you're letting 12-inch fish go all the way upstream, and we can't let that happen. I go, this is going to be different.
'Cause
You're
these
going to
fish-
hook the biggest fish you've ever hooked in your life.
And they're going to muscle fuck you.
Oh, yeah. They're going to ruin
Yeah.
your day. And they
Oh,
will
yeah.
blow this rod up if they have to. It'll break. I go, this has to be different. And yeah, we brought some heavy artillery. You know, we came in a little heavier. And I mean, 4 casts in, we hook a 23-inch fish, you know, and we fought it for 5 minutes. That's the way it goes.
Right.
You know, and I was talking to him the whole way. Hey, you know, keep that rod angle, pull him down. Let him run.
Meanwhile, you're sprinting downstream.
Oh yeah, you know, but we kept him right where we needed to be on the first fish, and It was great. You know, because I did a tutorial at the beginning. Hey, here's how this is gonna go.
Right.
If that fish wants to run upstream, we're not gonna let it go that far.
Yeah, you gotta turn that fish.
You gotta turn it, get it away from there. And the same with the rod angle. Like, if it's going into a bush, yeah, you can turn it upstream, get it out of there.
Yeah.
You know, try and get it out. If you break it off, you break it off.
And I always explain,
It's
like...
better than what's going to happen if he goes
get
in the
all
bush.
your line in the bush and then break off everything. And then all of a sudden a fish is stuck in a bush with all this
Now
line.
your fly line's broken.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Also, we got a bigger situation.
Right. And I always explain, too, to never ever, especially with big fish. I know, I need one, too, bud.
Oh, shit.
I always explain, like, this is how heavy this test is. Like, you can turn these fish. You have a lot of strength on this line. You need, perfect. Yeah, it's like, you need to muscle fuck these fish. Like, you need to turn these fish. If you bend the hook straight, fine.
F-bombs.
Oh, yeah. How many times did I say it?
I don't know. We've said it quite a bit. It's all right, though.
It's late in the season.
I don't care anymore.
But, yeah, you just got to kind of, you got to give these guys a really good explanation as to what this fly rod, what this line can take, so they can know how much pressure they can put on this fish.
What we've realized with clients, too, is, like, you literally, like... You're trying to teach somebody how to do something that's very complicated that they've never done in their entire lives. And you literally have to explain everything.
Right.
Everything you can touch on, you have to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, all of a sudden you're that bad guy that's yelling at them for something stupid that they should know how to do that you didn't teach them how to do.
You didn't teach them how to do.
Yeah.
So you have to explain everything because that can make a good guide and a bad guide.
Right.
If you don't tell them how to do, I mean, it can come down to like not even fishing. It can come down to just basic things.
Right.
You know, be like, hey, don't walk in the water all the way over there.
Right.
You know, walk to the bank first. Hey, when you get in the boat, wash your feet off.
Right.
You know, it can be all kinds of stuff like that.
Stop skipping rocks.
It'd be like, look, yeah, right. Hey, quit throwing rocks in the river. Hey, that's not where beer cans go. They don't go in the river. You know, it can be dumb stuff like that. But if you don't explain everything,
don't crinkle that can.
when I get that's a big one.
good one.
Okay, pro tip. If you ever go on a guide trip and the dude has a raft, don't crush your can.
Can we get some sound effects? Pro tip.
Yeah. Oh, we should probably get
We
some
should
of
get a
those.
couple sound effects.
Well, we don't have like a good editor.
I love Dane's.
It's
Dane
like
needs
me.
a good entry.
It's like me hung over in the morning trying to edit this and be like, all right, I'm gonna throw some music in there and freaking get it done. Because every time we do a podcast, we're drinking all night. So
That's true.
I'm not saying I'm hungover all the time, but
80%.
I'm not trying to make myself look bad. But
Like, can we get a good
I need like a good
pro
editor.
tip bass fishing like banjo or something?
Yeah, right. We need a good editor that can add these in. But pro tip, don't crush your cans when you get on a raft on a fly fishing trip. Because I have a raft. Dane has a raft. Full fishing frame. And mine's a little bit more exposed than yours is, Dane.
Yeah, you can.
You got a lot more metal.
Yeah, it's tongue
Yeah.
metal in the middle.
But here's the reason.
Don't
you
do it,
crush
though.
cans on a boat. Oh yeah, I taught you that right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, don't crush cans on boats, dude. Like, you don't do it because there's sharp edges, and you put sharp edges on a boat, on a rubber boat. Boom, you never know what could happen. Boom, explosion. Everything's life's
it's
over.
Murphy's Law.
Here's
I mean-
it is, dude.
I mean, you guys got to live by Murphy's
Anything
Law.
can
Yeah.
go wrong.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Can go. So the other day I was floating with your Uncle Mike, and we're floating down, and like, we have a couple beers, you know, and we're hanging out. And I tell the dude up front, never met the dude before. Mike's in the back. I tell the dude up front, I go, hey, yeah, it's cool. Like, just don't crush your cans. And he's like, all right, no problem. And I told him why. Oh, well, you know, sharp edges on a rubber boat isn't
Makes
good.
sense.
Yeah. Oh, he goes, oh, that's perfect. I get it. And he didn't crush a can. So this boat floats by, and it's a guided trip. All 3 people are smoking cigarettes, and it's a raft. All
See,
3 people are smoking cigarettes.
I might have been on that boat.
This was a guided fishing trip.
Oh, I might have been guiding that boat.
All 3 people are smoking cigarettes, which is fine. You know, you choose your thing. You know, I chew Copenhagen. I do it all. You know, but I don't
snooters.
smoke cigarettes on my boat. And I looked at the dude up front. And I go,
I smoke cigarettes.
Here's a
boat.
perfect example how you can ruin your investment.
Right.
And he's got a brand new fishing boat, brand new raft. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, all those dudes are smoking cigarettes on that boat. I guarantee not a one is worrying about where that ash is going.
Exactly right.
You ash on a rubber boat, you can pop a boat real easily. And the guy's smoking a cigarette, just cheaping down. I'm like, what is going on?
I remember
here?
seeing him when I was floating by. I remember that.
I was like, what is going on? Like, dude, you can pop a boat real quick.
I've ripped butts on your boat.
I mean, no, you're supposed to be for me, not against me. Okay,
but I'm very aware of my ashes.
I've never ripped a butt on your boat, dude.
Again, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, those are the rules on my boat. Do as I say, not as I do. But that's just an example. Okay, just fucking don't bring this on me.
Don't do shit that's gonna pop a boat on the boat.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do stuff that'll pop a boat.
Yeah, but what about crampons?
Crampons.
Those are perfectly allowed.
Yeah, studs are good on boats. Like,
I advocate crampons on the boat. Just walk on the tube.
I mean, have you guys ever had that? Dude shows up.
Oh yeah,
studs on his boat.
Can't wear 'em.
He's like, hey man.
I tell them if they want to wear waders, no studs. And they go, what do you mean no studs? I go, don't bring them.
Yeah.
Can't have them.
Today,
You got to do. He had studs.
dude shows up to the put-in with studs in his boots.
What'd you tell him? Say no or did you say yes?
I told him, I was like, dude, you need to put on some different boots.
Did he have different boots?
And he's like, well, I don't have any other wading boots. And
Tennis shoes.
I was like, dude, here's the deal. I'll throw your boots in this dry bag for you. If we get out, you can put them on. Otherwise, you're wearing waders.
Yeah, you don't need
them.
With the wading socks.
Yeah, you don't
That's
need
a
them.
good idea.
Because, dude, I don't need that.
Even on a drift boat, like
don't need
people
that.
shouldn't be wearing studs on a drift boat.
I mean,
No.
even with your diamond plate metal, they can can scratch the metal up, and they can. I mean, you want to keep everything nice.
You pay $15,000 for a drift boat. You don't want people scratching up with studs.
Also,
no.
they're gonna put their feet on the rubber.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Oh, it happens all day. They'll put a foot up, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey,
There's foot marks all over my boat from people
Yeah.
just, putting their feet on them.
right. Pee happens, Pee happens, but don't put your
Yeah,
studs
you
on
can
my
pee
boat.
on the boat. Just don't put your studs on the boat.
Yeah, dude, it washes
True.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
A popped boat doesn't wash out.
Oh, you should see the stuff I have.
How many times you popped your boat this year?
Me?
How many times you patched it?
I patched it twice this year.
That's not bad.
How many times did you?
None yet.
Oh,
Yet. See how I say yet?
yeah. Did you knock on wood?
Because I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I probably should knock on wood. Okay, we brought those up. There's something else I want to bring up. Oh, shit. I don't know how to get into it.
Let's hear it. Send
Should
it.
we just go
Fire
for
it
it?
away.
Oh, don't worry about segueing.
Yeah, screw it.
Let's just get into it.
We talk about this a lot, and I know I've talked about it with you and Dane and everybody else, but a daily guide routine.
Oh, we were talking about this last night or the other night at the bar. That's right.
Daily guide routine, just kind of what it consists of, and everyone's different. And you can, at the end of the year, you can start to see everybody's routine, and it's real easy to predict what's going to happen with each person. You're like, oh, I bet this is about to happen, and then they do it, and you're like, because they get into a routine, they just do it. And I've talked about routines a lot on this podcast, because if you get into a routine, then things start to get easier. You don't lose stuff as easily.
Well,
everything is in the same place at all times.
It's all about consistency.
Everything. It is. And it's funny to watch every guide's routine. And we all have a different routine. And the way we were talking about is kind of from the moment you wake up, kind of how does
a day in the life, dude.
A day in the life. A day in the life. This needs to be a TV show. A day in the life of a guide. This should be a short series. We need to get sold in on this.
Yeah, it would be good.
A day in the life of a guide, because everyone's completely different. And we all have different routines. Some of us are messy. Some of us are clean.
Right.
Some of us are tidy. Some of us are a mess.
Everything's
just a shit show.
Well, let's just.
I don't know.
Let's just jump right into it, man.
Other freaking
Let's
synonyms
hear.
for it.
Let's hear your routine.
You want to hear mine first?
Yeah, let's hear yours.
Oh God, mine's a nightmare, and everyone makes fun of me for it. Because we were talking to Sam about it.
We were
Remember
ripping
we were
you
talking.
last-
Everyone was just destroying me. Dane knows my routine pretty well, but I'm an early person. I wake up early for the most part, but midsummer, I was honestly getting up at 5, and time flies in the morning. and like I tie a couple flies, I have a cup of coffee. But like we were talking about, like coffee, you know, it upsets my stomach. We'll put it that way.
Mine too, buddy.
I mean, most people, it just rips you up. But I mean, okay, so like I'll get up, get my shit together, and I'll roll out of the house. Usually, you know, a couple hours before my trip starts, 2.5 hours before my trip starts, I'll roll out of the house. I mean, you're working at that point.
Oh yeah, game's on.
Dane knows. I mean, you're working.
Yeah.
But I mean, the funny part is like what leads up to your trip. Like, you know, you're getting ready 2 hours before your trip. Like, I'll do like a half a cup of coffee. I don't even drink. I make 4 cups and I only drink a half cup, and then the rest just sits in the pot. And I'm like, great, that was worthless. Like, why did I do that? Just wasting coffee. But I don't know. I should probably get like Keurig or something.
Yeah, you got to get like a little
exactly.
French
just
press.
Just
Get
make
the
one.
backpacking French press.
Yeah, there you
just
go.
the one
Oh,
cup.
I have a little French press, but anyways. Okay.
But then you got to get up 4 hours
But, like,
earlier than you normally do.
throughout the season, it progresses differently. But a little bit of coffee. Red Bull's got to be part of it. Has to be. I got it. Dude, you got to double down on caffeine. Yeah. Have to. Because, I mean, you're getting up so early, and these people don't know that you're doing that. Nicotine's in there.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Way in there.
Hard to eliminate nicotine.
And, I mean, the way it goes, I mean, I'm a creature of habit. We all are. And usually when I crack that Red Bull, it's like Copenhagen goes in the mouth.
Right.
Red Bull and Copenhagen go together great. And
Yep.
I do that method. And then I'll do a muscle milk.
Yeah,
And I know this, or like a protein shake or whatever. I know I say muscle milk because I drink muscle milk, but I'll do like a protein shake, you know, because there's tons of calories and I mean, you work your ass off on the river all day, and I hate eating breakfast. I can't stand eating breakfast.
That's outrageous, by the way.
I can't. And Dane is like, Dane will eat a fucking sloppy Joe in the morning for breakfast. He doesn't give a shit.
I don't care, dude.
I'm with you. I don't eat breakfast. I eat something at 10:30.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll do the muscle milk in the morning, then I'll probably do the Red Bull and then the Copenhagen.
Right.
And that's usually how it goes. But like then you get like once you drop shuttle and do everything, like dropping your shuttle is like, or dropping your boat and then run shuttle, like you drop your boat and it's not that stressful. You're like pretty relaxed dropping your boat unless you're running behind.
Right.
But you drop your boat, hang out for a minute, run your shuttle, and shuttle is like one of the most stressful parts of the day.
Oh, there's so many people, so many.
Like here, and I talked about my superpower one day. I was like, I wish shuttle was not involved. I wish I could just like teleport and just like get my truck to an area without running shuttle.
Or just like Clients think, lazy river fishing, man.
Exactly. Just have it go in a circle. Just have
to
circle.
the car.
Why can't it go in a circle? Because shuttle is like your most stressful part of the day. But we, for the most part nowadays, beginning of the season, don't like you can testify, Dane. Like we were all getting there like 30 minutes before clients showed up, 15 minutes before clients showed up.
I mean,
for the most part, because we were just like ready. You know, we were like, all right, screw it, like let's go. And nowadays, we're like, oh man, I can't wait to be there for like an hour and a half before my clients show up,
dude,
just so I don't have to. I can just decompress for an hour and a half before my clients show up. I can just hang out and zone out for an hour.
You just said the word. The word is decompress.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
important, man.
Oh, it is, man. Like in the morning, you got to decompress.
Yeah.
And hang out for a minute.
Well, it looks like you have to just decompress from your muscle milk that you
Well, here's part of the routine.
Cameron drinks muscle milk, does 1,000 push-ups, and then goes rows a boat.
No, I mean I'm all
Can
of
of tuna?
165 pounds soaking wet. You know, like I'm not trying to get muscle. I'm just trying to like supplement because I'm not eating breakfast.
Right.
I'm like I got to get something in my body.
Right.
Because I don't want to eat breakfast.
See, I'm the opposite. Like, dude, I'm training for the zombie apocalypse, man. When I'm fishing, I don't drink water. I don't.
Oh,
eat
you don't
food.
do anything.
I don't
dude.
do anything.
Just smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, I just rip butts and I'll drink a couple beers if you brought them.
And I got to bring the cigarettes.
That's
too.
a good.
Yeah.
That's a good routine.
Well, I stopped.
But
paying
I
for
mean, I'll
cigarettes
get.
years ago.
It's funny because Sam brought up the other day, like he's like, dude, I've never seen anybody use the Northbridge toilet. It's not even a toilet; it's a porta potty. It's a porta potty, and it's a real terrible porta potty.
Oh, and it's one, so
It's
it gets
one,
used.
Oh yeah, it gets used. I mean, this is like the town porta potty when you go launch a boat. And he's like, I've never seen anybody use this porta potty more than you. I was like, dude, I live in there, man. It's like one of these things where like right when I hit Northbridge, I'm like, I gotta go. And I go to hang out in the porta potty, and it's still a decompressive moment. I'm like, I go sitting there for 10 minutes. I'm like, this is nice.
Dude, you're the reason that sign's there. If this porta potty is vandalized one more time, it will be removed.
Like, turns out I'm not vandalizing it. I'm just using it a lot.
I saw.
I'm like writing notes in there. I'm like, just writing notes to my buddies. Like, hey, next time you use this, think of me, Cameron.
Cameron's still got literature in there, man.
Oh, dude,
my magazine.
Yeah, I should keep a magazine in there, dude. I should keep a book in there. Be like, if you go to page 29, don't go past. I fold the page over. That's the page I'm at right now.
Somebody would steal number 3 all around.
Number 3.
But everyone was making fun of me because that's part of my routine. I'm like, once I get to Northbridge, I got to go use the porta potty.
Well, you drink coffee, right?
Yeah, and a Red Bull, and a Muscle Milk, and a Copenhagen, and everything else I can put into my body just to stay awake.
You're gonna have to have a bowel movement, and it's.
But literally everyone noticed this year. They're like, damn, you really use that thing a lot, huh? I'm like, oh yeah, it's just part of my routine, man. Daily morning. Once I hit Northbridge, I'm like, gotta go. Like right away. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a brain thing.
And so
or what.
we were talking about, like, you throw a dip in. What time do you throw your dip in?
It depends. But usually, like, lately I've been throwing it in, like, right after I get to my boat after shuttle.
Okay.
Usually an hour before my clients get there. I'll put my dip in. And that way, by the time my clients get there, I'm not spitting anymore.
Yeah, you're vibing.
Yeah, and I'm not, like, looking like an idiot just drooling all over my boat and all over my mouth and stuff. I'm just, like, it just hangs out in there, and it's just, like, hanging. And I don't have to spit and look like a hillbilly, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, is that fair? I think about it because I'm like, if I throw it in an hour before they get here, I won't have to spit, and then like I won't look like an idiot.
Well, you think about it because that's your routine.
Yeah, it's my routine. But we all have the same routine. And it's like I know Dane gets there and like he'll organize his boxes and like you don't talk to him. No one talks really. Dane will get there and like empty the cup, and we should talk about working out of the cup.
Working out of the cup,
dude. But Dane will get there and empty his cups and put them all in his fly boxes. And he'll sit there for 30 minutes and just putting flies in, hanging out, putting flies in. And we don't really talk too much. Like, we'll hang out. And
right.
Like, you know, just BS a little bit. But, like, you're like, all right, he's busy.
Right.
Don't fuck with Dane right now. He's putting flies in boxes.
Yeah.
But working out of the cup is a big thing right now. Because I'm too lazy to put flies in boxes.
Oh, dude, I'm way past, dude.
So I just work out of the cup, dude.
I got cups from August.
Oh, dude, I got too many cups. I lose them all the time. Like, it'd be a lot easier if I just put these in my boxes.
Well, the problem with
I'm like grabbing cups out of my boat and throwing them in my waders, and all of a sudden I got like 10 cups just pulling them out looking for bugs. I'm like, what?
Well, those cups have a shelf life too, man. I got cracked cups now. I got flies in my waders.
Well, you got to change your cups. Instead of putting it in your boxes, just change your cup.
Well, my problem is now my cups got flies. My cups got tippet. My cups got cigarette butts.
Oh, I have my fly bag right now is looking like my wader pocket. There's just full rigs in there, and I'll reach in there for a box. I'm like, oh, ow, and I pull out like just a hopper dropper rig just crunched up in there. I'm like, what is going on?
Pats and a freaking tongue teaser. You're like, this is old.
This is way old. How'd this get in here?
I still talk about the one.
The routine is key, dude. You gotta have the routine. Yeah, and I know like everyone's got their own routine, and you can, like I said, you can predict everyone's routine, like how they do it.
Right.
You know, like certain guys will get in their boat and they'll light up a cigarette and hang out and like, you know, do their thing and like decompress.
How many guys are about to decompress? Like get there and just like
most of us.
Right.
I'd say probably like 70%.
Do you guys ever pep talk each other? Like, hey man, it's gonna be okay.
Sometimes.
I know you got the clients I had yesterday.
Oh, remember when Joel was there the other day and he was on a new level, man. He pulled out of just a glob of like 6 rods that are just bundled and tangled and
I
jumbled.
took a picture of it.
And he just pulls them out and he's like, look what I got going on, and just like threw them back in his boat. He's like, Jesus. And his clients are like standing right over there and he's just like messing with all his shit, and he's just like, but like everyone's different. Like he wants a donut and a Coca-Cola in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that actually kind of sounds nice. There's a lot of sugar, though.
That's a lot. But like everyone's different. Like I mean, I'm drinking Red Bull,
Right.
and throwing Copenhagen in. Am I doing any better? No,
Right.
it's all bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a guide routine. But
Your routine, you get up early, Dane.
Yeah, dude.
Dane's like Dane will go drop his boat at like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Dude,
He'd be like, my boat's been in for 3 hours.
Dude, I'll tell you what I do.
Tell us your routine.
I get up at 5:30 every day. Every day I have a guide trip, no matter when it is. And I get up pretty slow. You know, like, I mean, not excessively slow, but I'll get up, get dressed.
Take your time.
And, like, wash my face and, like, you know, get everything ready. And then I'll go to the boat. And now that it's cold as shit, I start the car. That's a new one.
Oh, yeah. Starting the car is big one.
I usually in my boat.
Oh, you guys don't have keyless ignition?
Not at this wage.
Have you seen my truck?
Not at this wage.
You guys need to get a new job.
Mine barely has an ignition.
But yeah, now that it's cold, also the boat is pretty flat.
Right.
And I have like the one strap over the top, so it's usually off. So instead of tightening it more, I usually pump up the boat 40 times in each tube.
See, I have that routine too.
Oh god.
I have that routine too.
Numbers. So
I count everything.
So each tube has two valves, go 20 in each, and then I strap the boat down again.
Can I tell you mine before you go forward?
Yeah.
I do 45 to 50 in my middle tube because I always deflate it more.
Yeah.
And then I do 25 in my back tube and 15 in my front. And
That's
then
good.
it takes me 22 pumps to fill up my floor every day.
There you
Every
go.
time I hit 22, okay.
See, I don't have a floor, so
Yeah.
because I have.
That's how routine it is because you know exact numbers of what you need to do.
Oh, I mean, I know.
Sorry, go ahead. So
No, so
pump
then-
your boat up 40.
Yep, hit 40 in each tube, and then I restrap it so that it's secure. Drive to wherever I need to do. But also, I should note that in between going to start the car and waking up, I call in my sandwiches because I don't ever do half days. Apparently,
He's the king of full days.
Damn,
folks.
yeah, I know,
If you want a
man.
full day trip, Dane will take you on a good 9.5 hour full day and just run you into the ground.
This man does not do half days.
No, dude, I haven't done half day in a while.
Wow.
So I call in the sandwiches and order them from the coffee shop. Call in the sandwiches about 6:09 usually is when it happens.
Yeah, and they open what? 6.
6.
Yeah. I know the Mocha's routine. I used to do that one a lot.
So then they're like, yeah, it's going to be 15, 20 minutes. So I'm like, perfect. Okay. So I do everything I need to do, start the car, pump the boat. By the time I go to the gas station and get a bag of ice and go to Mocha's, sandwiches are ready. Get the sandwiches, fill my coffee cup, start drinking coffee. Now I'm on the way to the pudding.
Oh, he's going all through. Mine was kind of jumbled.
Dude, I'm sorry.
No,
But-
you're good.
But I just got it so dialed.
We've been
This
talking about
morning.
your routine for the last 2 days. Though.
Yeah, I know. We've already talked about it enough.
So I go up there, unstrap the boat. Life jackets is the first thing on the boat. Life jackets and placards.
That's a big thing with your boat. Like, you put it together the same way you take it apart.
Got to.
And I have the same. I know I didn't go into my boat routine at all, but like my boat routine is the same way every single day. And you're the only one who knows how to put my boat away, Dane.
Yeah.
Because we've done it enough where it's like, I know this guy. He does it the same way every single time.
Yeah.
And I'll even double check some of the stuff you do because I'm like, I didn't do it. I need to make sure it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to make sure it's done.
I'm pretty sure it's right.
Yeah. I mean, I trust you. I'm not saying I don't. I
No,
just
yeah.
need to do it because
Yeah.
it's my routine.
I
He
understand.
doesn't want to blame
Dude,
you for something that goes wrong.
I understand completely because I do the same. But yeah, get to the pudding. Life jackets and placards go on first. For
Wait.
sure.
He's
You're
going
gonna-
all through
Well, you're going to
it,
have to
dude.
explain. I don't think I understand what a placard is.
You got to put, so on your boat, sorry, Dan, you want it?
No, I don't care.
You
No.
want to field this one?
Dan,
I'm not trying to.
I'm asking
yeah,
you.
Ryan's
Well,
asking
you have to display who you're working for. It's a legal thing.
So you have to put a plaque on there to
Oh.
say
So we
like,
all
who
run-
exactly you work
run
for.
signs on our boat.
Oh, so you guys all do that? I guess
Yeah.
I never noticed.
So if something like went wrong, or if a landowner, anything were to happen, or Parks and Wildlife contact you, they'd be like, "Oh, it was a blue raft and it said Crespi Angler," or it said,
so it's kind of your
Gunnison
license.
River Guides.
It's basically your license.
yeah,
plate.
it's a license plate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's easy. On a raft especially, they usually just hang over the oar lock.
Right.
Just a
Exactly.
little sign. So do that. That's number one. That empties a bunch of shit. Then my fly bag goes on there next because can't be forgetting flies and tippet, obviously.
I know.
But
Damn, you're going good for you. You're going full out.
Dude.
I love this.
Keep going.
So after that, and I should note on that one is my fly bag gets gone. It gets pretty much gone through every night after I'm done. Like,
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't do that.
That's why I don't work from the cup as much.
I work from the freaking cup.
I think he's still kind of a young buck too, though. So you're not super jaded yet.
I mean, he knows the deal.
That's just how you are.
Dane's very meticulous.
Gotcha.
And so am I. But like, I mean, Dane and I work together or fish together all the time,
Right.
and we know
Yeah.
we're very meticulous about things.
So this
Like,
is just your game.
Even
This is how you
if
do
I'm
it.
working out of cups, like if I'm working out of cups still, like, and I'm fishing with Dane, I go like, "Hey Dane, look in that left pocket."
Yeah, you know what
He'd be
cup
like,
is
hand
what.
me the first cup, and it'd be like, "This one?" I'd be like, "Yep, that's the one." Like
Gotcha.
Dane
Yeah.
knows that everything in my boat is in there. Like I know exactly
Yeah,
what
it's-
everything is.
Yeah, it's your organization. It's
Yeah.
how you do
See,
it.
the thing is in where I keep all my flies, there's one little pocket where I could put a cup. So if there gets to be more than like 3 cups, it's a fucking nightmare.
I'm working on like 6 cups right now.
Dude.
I'm not even a guide. I got cups everywhere, man. But mainly just because I'm lazy.
Dude, the cups, they crack, and you're right. And then you're
Yeah.
like losing flies. And then
yeah.
with the little flies, dude, you open
if,
one,
if they like dent,
and they snap, and
Yeah.
then flies
Oh, dude.
fly
They
everywhere. And
go
you're like, what
everywhere.
the fuck? I just bought those.
Yeah, I
all
just
my flies just
yeah.
went all over my boat.
Well, there
Bullshit.
goes.
At the end of the year, when you like break
$40.
down your boat, because I got that floor that's laced in.
Right.
At the end of the year, when I break down my boat, dude, I probably find $40, $50 in flies just hanging in the bottom of my boat.
I
Like,
bet
jeez,
more.
man.
Dude, it gets brutal. The cup gets brutal on me. And I just don't feel as like on top of
Right.
it, which is another thing, like that confidence
Yeah.
going in, you need it.
Knowing where all your stuff is, yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to be on point to your specifications, or you're
Yeah.
not feeling like you're coming in right. You're not coming correct.
See,
Yeah.
I can't put my fly bag on my boat until the very end because I have that top latch. Like
where you put your
my
pump.
seat. Yeah, like so I pump my boat up second to last because I don't need to go through my boat routine, but
Yeah.
I put my boat up second to last, and then I have to put my pump in, and then put my top
Right.
latch down where my seat is, and then put my fly bag on because I attach it there.
Yeah.
If I don't, it gets stuck in there. Then I got to walk all the way around the boat and get it undone, and then put the latch down.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep. Yeah. See, I don't put anything under my front seat because I have a K pump and it
Yeah.
goes under the rower
yeah.
seat.
Right.
I'm gonna get one of those. I'm gonna do
And-
the K pump just at my right where my cooler is.
Dude, it
Cool.
works
Can I
pretty
have
well.
yours?
No, I'm gonna keep mine.
$20. I got you. $20.
Yeah, $20, that'll cover it.
It's an NRS, right?
Okay, keep going. Sorry, Dan. You got a great routine going.
I'm
Then
loving
I,
your routine.
I put the fly bag in, and then I grab the anchor out of the back and I set it on the ground.
Ooh, that's a bad move though.
No, not the way that I roll.
When you take your anchor off though, at the end of the day, do
Yeah.
you set it on the ground?
No, it goes from
Straight to my truck.
straight into the back.
I've lost too many anchors.
I
doing
promise
that.
you that the anchor will not get left in my routine. So I put the anchor on the ground, and then I grab the rods, put them on the boat, and then it immediately goes. I uncleat the anchor rope and I pull out as much as I want, depending on the put in
True.
where I'm going to put
Damn,
my
you're
boat.
going bull bore on this.
And I clip the anchor, and then I put the anchor in the floor in the back. That way, when I set the boat where I want it, I can grab the anchor out and just set it, and then leave.
Jesus.
Like I'll put life jackets. Like I'll put life jackets on the front. If I get 2 people, I'll put one on the front, one on the back. So then they know, like, hey, front and back, like there's life jackets both. I'll put my life jacket in. When I get in my boat, this is a good point.
Yeah, you always put
I'm-
yours on.
Dude, I don't break character till the DVD commentary. Like so I'll get in my boat, and right when I get in my boat, even if I got an hour before my clients show up, my life jacket goes on immediately. And it's just routine. Like
Yeah.
my life jacket goes on immediately, and everyone's looking at me like, "What the hell is he doing? Like he's not
That's how I
going
do it.
anywhere."
That's how I do it.
I'm like, "Dude, this is how I do it." And then when I take my boat out, I don't take my life jacket off until it's the last thing I do. Like literally, I'll break down my entire boat and then take my life jacket off. And everyone makes fun of me for that too. Like, you're gonna drown in the parking lot? Like, you never know, man. I don't know. But it's just part of my routine.
I mean, people die all kinds of crazy ways.
And I mean, what happens is like everyone starts throwing stuff everywhere and doing all these things, and they're like, I can't find any of my stuff.
Where's my PFD?
Yeah, and you're like, dude, if you do it the same way every time, you'll never lose your stuff.
Right.
Dude, I never take my oars off until the clients get there.
I know, and I hate doing that. I put them on before I even drop them in the boat or drop them into the water.
There's nowhere to put them in my boat.
Yeah,
yeah, you got a different boat for that.
Yeah.
You can't just do it the same way because you can just tuck yours. You can't tuck yours.
Mine will come out the back, dude.
Yeah, just gone.
My routine is I lose an oar every single morning. I swim.
You did lose an oar today.
Yeah, got it back.
Got it back.
Oh shit!
So you're gonna think about oar leashes now?
Yeah, but it's probably a good idea.
Oh, you don't have oar
That's
leashes?
what I was asking you today. I go, so what did we learn today, Dane? You go, what do you mean what did I learn? You were a little fired up at the time. And I wanted to be like, you going to get oar leashes?
I mean, dude, it was a fucking crazy thing to witness happen. It's a good thing that it didn't.
So we talked about this the other day, though. Remember when we were at the bar with Boothie?
Yeah, but see, the thing is that's what I thought you were driving at. But here's the thing is I always put my oars
No,
up.
I know that. But, and I got that. And then I was trying to press, like, what did we learn today? Why did we lose an oar today? You know, like, how could we have not lost an oar today? You know what? I'm not trying to be an idiot or trying to like, make you look like
I get
an
what
idiot.
you're saying.
Just like an oar leash.
But the thing is that's also crazy is I have my oar locks with a fucking key ring in it to not fly through if something like that happens.
Right.
Turns out, bent the shit out of the key ring and the oar lock flew out anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, I can tell you.
Like, we were talking about... Sorry, I'm not trying to make you look dumb or anything.
Idiot.
I was just...
I mean, oar leashes are probably a good idea, but I just don't have them.
Yeah. No.
So
I wasn't
that's just
I
it.
wasn't trying to go that
my
route.
fucking story.
Wasn't trying to
I
go
don't
that route. But no, we were talking about the other day because, I mean, oars will pop up and just pop you in the head if you leave them in the water.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we were talking about, like popping your oars underneath your knees or underneath your seat or somewhere
Oh,
when
I've
you're
done
hanging
it.
out. Because oars will pop up and hit you in the head and bust
Break all
out.
your teeth.
Yeah, break all your
man.
teeth or
They'll break
bust
your
out
jaw.
oar locks or whatever, like
Knock
bust
you
oar
out.
locks. Like, and yeah, it's happened. Like, I mean, I've been close, you know, where an oar's almost whacked me in the face from leaving it in the water.
Right.
While I'm floating down, like trying to do something.
Right.
And it hits a rock and pops up.
I've been clocked.
But
Yeah, dude. It's scary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'll knock you out and your guide is,
Well,
or your client's just sitting on the boat and you're just
The dude we're talking
flopped
about,
over.
he's missing like 4 teeth on his lower jaw because he just
bashed him in the jaw and like he
yeah.
was concussed and like,
broke his teeth.
oh yeah.
I'm sure you guys had them come across your face like, whoa,
Oh yeah.
whoa. That would have sucked.
Oh, if you leave them in the water, you're screwed. There's another pro tip for you.
Yeah.
I
Don't leave your
usually
oars in the
don't,
water.
but the one
I
time
mean,
I
we
did.
all do. It will, and I mean, the more you do it, the more times like you're just like, oh, it's fine, you know, and then it just something goes wrong, and you're like, oh, damn, I didn't expect that.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it turns out it'll fucking rip the whole oar lock out of there.
apparently, yeah, that's
Right.
insane. I've
Yeah.
never seen that.
No, it's crazy.
And yeah, you got those big key rings, like most of them do.
Yeah.
they got those big key rings. That's
Bent
insane.
it. Just bent it and launched the whole kit and caboodle out.
Damn, that's crazy.
Got it back though.
Man, I'll tell you, my routine is
Dig it.
my
That's sweet. That's crazy. I got back.
my routine as a fisherman versus a guide's way different.
Yeah, you're like, I wake up at like 10, 9.
No, actually,
Hang out.
I usually set like 8 alarms, starting at like 4:45. And they wake.
4:45 all the way to like 8:45.
I usually get
4-hour
up.
alarm.
I usually get up around 6:45. I think about making a cup of coffee, but I don't, because I usually don't have enough time.
Because I slept through my alarms.
Yeah, and then I haul ass to Gunnison. I get a Red Bull and a burrito because that's the only thing I'm going to be eating.
You're a
all day
burrito
long.
man.
Oh, I love a good gas station burrito.
We'd go
dude,
to Pleasure Park and you'd be like, will you stop? I don't want a good burrito.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're going to have to diarrhea soon.
No, man. When that's the only thing
No,
you eat,
man.
when that's the only thing you eat all day, dude, burrito's good. Good calories. That's what you need. I always forget my water, but I don't need it anyways because I'm training for the zombie apocalypse. I think about
You
buying
make me feel like a huge bitch. I'm like, I need at least 64 ounces of water today.
Oh, dude, I bring so much water.
Oh, yeah.
You got to.
I'll eat Cameron stuff when he brings
You do.
it because I just didn't bring
Well,
it.
I guide, so I bring all that stuff.
You come correct.
And you're like, dang, you brought charcuterie? I'm
Yeah.
like, hell yeah.
Cameron's got more snacks than any guide on the Gunnison River. I promise you that.
Cameron's snacky. I always appreciate fishing with it. But the truth is, I don't need it. I just eat it because it's there. Like, I've been training.
Same. I do a muscle milk. I'm like, I don't need shit. But I'm like, oh, I got all this candy. I should probably eat it.
Yeah, well, by the time lunch comes around on the guide trip, I'm like, you better give me that fucking sandwich, dude, because I'm going to hit you in the face.
I'm like, hey, Cameron, you brought beer? Sick, man. Let me have
I
one of
bring
those.
it off. Sam used to come. I think I've probably brought this up on the podcast, but Sam used to come around and just be like, what kind of snacks you got on there? I'm like, dude, I got it
He's
all,
looking for
man.
the candy at
Oh,
like
yeah.
8:30.
I'm like, dude, I got candy, I got granola bars, I got Capri Suns, Gatorades, I got
Capri Sun.
dude, I had Capri Suns for a while, and Sam was crushing them, dude. Like one gulp, just squeeze it and just glomp, gone. And he's like, man, I haven't had a Capri Sun in a minute. I'm
He's
like,
like,
you
you
had
got
one
another one?
yesterday.
That was
dude.
delicious. Give me another
I had
one.
one yesterday.
Another.
He'd be like, what? You got that? You got that goods? You got them snacks? I'm like, yeah, dude. You want an Airhead? What do you want, dude?
I'd say
Some fruit
I would
snacks?
say honestly the weirdest thing about my routine, and it's the only thing that's consistent about my life, is I could drink a cup of coffee, I could smoke 10 cigarettes, but I will not have to poop until I put all my gear on, get everything strapped on, got
That's
my waders
true.
on, net on my back,
It's true.
and I take 2 steps away from the vehicle. That's when I have to poop.
That's just
I'm like,
habit.
man.
It's the same with
I think
the
I just get
Northbridge
all
thing,
excited, dude. I just get all excited. I'm ready to go fishing, like, and
then
then
it
my
just
body,
works
my
out.
metabolism kicks in.
I forgot that part of my routine.
Oh yeah,
I put my boat in so early so I can go home and take a shit before I have to catch the shuttle.
nice.
I like how you said take a shit instead of take a poop.
Well, we're now multiple beers deep, so I think the
Fair
language-
amount.
Yeah,
We're doing all right. This is our first podcast in a while, so we might as well go for the gusto. Yeah, no, you're right. See, I don't have that. Sometimes I've called you, though, and be like, hey, man, can I come over?
Oh, yeah, you've taken a shit at my house before.
And you're like, what's up? I'm like, dude, I got to use your restroom.
I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. I'll go upstairs. You go downstairs.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
fucking
like-
do this.
I love
I'm
how
outside. I'm outside, actually. Like, I got to go now.
I love how Cameron's like, I got to use your restroom, but what he's really saying is, man, I got to poop all over your restroom.
I'm going to defile your house. It's okay. I'm not going to be there all day.
It's part of my routine. I found all the good restrooms in town that aren't in the grocery stores. You know,
Right.
I'm like, oh, what are the outdoor ones? And I found all the good ones.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
know, and I'll plan my day around that too. Be like, all right, about like 8:15, I'm gonna have to go to the water park, and they got a good one. And I just realized this the other day. I was like, damn, they got a good one over
Dude,
there.
the water park is a good one.
It ain't
It's a
bad.
good alternative to
It's
my
not
house.
bad.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's way better than any of them because
Right.
nobody uses it because it's
Right.
at the top of the water park, and so nobody goes in there. There's the porta potty down low,
Yeah.
but nobody goes to the
Because
top.
all the
And
drunk
that
people.
flushes.
We're giving away all the
And
guide
that one
secrets.
flushes.
It flushes.
Yeah.
Dude, it's got a working sink.
That means-
it's got it all, dude.
And that means no potential for splashback.
You could literally go in there and be
You
like,
don't want splashback in
No.
a porta toilet, man. That's not okay.
you know what the days though? I'll tell you
happens.
guys. Pro tip
And it's
again.
scary.
Do-do-do. Pro tip: if you're gonna use the Northbridge bathroom, Mondays at about 9:35.
Oh, they suction that bitch.
Yeah, they clean it at 9.
Yeah.
It
Every
takes them
day?
about 15-20 minutes.
Every day?
Mondays.
On Mondays.
Oh, on Mondays you said,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So you go in there right after them, you're like, perfect. You lay down a little toilet paper layer so you don't get the backsplash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you rip, dude. You let it rip.
This fishing podcast just turned into where do
A
we
shitting
take
podcast.
Yeah, where do we take shits in town?
Whatever.
It's going out
Pro
of
tip.
control now.
I
Pro
mean,
tip.
Pro tip. I mean, pooping is part of life, man. You better make it as enjoyable as you can.
Pro
Part of the
tip.
routine.
Yeah.
Well, some bitch.
And then what point do you guys put bananas on?
Oh, never. Never.
Some people like to mess with Cameron and put bananas
Oh,
on his
God.
boat.
I heard
I've
about-
never.
Isn't that when you broke the fly rod?
Dude, I've had so many occasions.
Dude, I've never messed with Cameron with a banana.
Cameron takes that banana serious.
I take it seriously, but some people like to mess with Cameron.
Dude,
I'll put bananas on his boat.
If I liked bananas,
dude, I'll show
bananas.
up and I'll go through my cooler and there's a banana in there.
And nobody goes, dude, who goes through their cooler? He's paranoid. They paranoid him.
I know, dude.
Dude, they made me paranoid. So now, like, that's part of my routine. Like, I got to look around my boat and make sure there's not a banana on it.
Well, joke's on you. They hollowed one of your oars and fucking shoved a banana
It's
in
just full of
been in there all
bananas.
year.
There's just a whole bushel of them in
It's
there.
been a really shitty season. I don't know why.
I don't understand.
What about, like, banana taffy?
No banana.
No banana,
anything,
okay.
dude. I
Flavor matters,
won't
too.
eat banana bread anywhere near my boat.
Dude doesn't even wear a banana hammock.
So, well, who wears a banana hammock?
I do.
That's the first thing I do. I get up and I drink a stabilizer, I drink a beer, and I put on my banana hammock.
Nothing banana related. Banana Laffy Taffy, not allowed.
Okay. So one dehydrated banana chip could foil your day, eh?
Bananas, dude. You should know
Awesome.
better, dude.
I don't give a shit. I don't
You
buy
should
into
know
that
better,
bullshit.
dude. You're not even allowed to wear a yellow shirt on my boat.
Dude, I'll put out a banana suit with banana socks and banana shoes.
No.
But
No.
You're not getting anywhere near my boat.
But
dude.
bananas are so gross, I won't eat one. You
What
don't
if a
have to worry
client
about
showed
that.
up like that, dude? Halloween.
Oh,
Showed up in a
so
banana
funny.
costume.
What about anything that insinuates bananas, like a gorilla?
I'm
Thinking
okay
about
with that.
eating bananas.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just making sure. Just
Yeah,
want
but
to know
just
how far
nothing
you can
banana
take.
flavored, nothing like, around
No
bananas.
runts.
Yeah, runts, no. Especially not runts.
Banana
dude.
flavored runts.
I mean,
man,
they're
those are
my
the gross.
favorite.
Oh, really?
Dude, I love bananas, but
Oh,
I just don't
hate
want them anywhere
bananas.
near my boat.
Bananas are putrid, dude. I can't eat them.
Have we talked about bananas on the podcast before?
If you watch me eat a banana,
Did I tell
eat-
you about that old
I
lady?
might have the world record for the
That
fastest
older
banana
lady
eaten.
who, like, fishing was real shit for, like, 2 hours, dude. 2 hours. Like, fishing was terrible. And I was just like, what is going... And it was an older couple, and they could fish. Like, they were really good. They've been fishing for a long time.
Right.
And they're good, dude. Like, surprisingly.
Right.
Like, late 70s, early 80s, probably. And they could fish. And they were, like, active, They weren't just, like, like... They were in it.
Right.
And fishing was just terrible. I was like, what is going on, man? Like, what is happening? And this lady, like, we stopped for a minute, and this lady was like, oh, will you hand me my pack? I'm going to grab a snack out of there. Pulls this banana out. I was like, oh, no. And she's like, what? What's wrong? What's wrong?
Get that icky thing out of my
I was
boat.
like, dude, bananas aren't allowed on boats. Like, they're not allowed. I don't allow them on my boat. Like, I didn't know you had a banana in your pack, blah, blah. Takes the banana. She's like, well, what do I do with it? Like, she was entertained by the idea. She's like, what do I do with it? I don't know. What do I do? And I was like, wait for these other boats to come by and then toss it on their boat. And like just screwing with her. She's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, you should though.
You should.
She's like, I might. And she ends up like peeling the banana and throwing it in the woods. I was like, it's fine. Like a bird will eat it. It'll happen. Like it's fine.
Biodegradable.
Exactly. It's a banana.
But the
it's
peel.
fine.
Peel takes a lot longer.
Does it?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just want it off my boat.
Get it out.
Literally right after, we started hammering them all day. Right after.
That's placebo. You're
A placebo.
A placebo. No, so you got to believe in it, dude.
yeah. You believe too
You got
much.
to believe in it. I'm a very superstitious person.
Yeah.
I'm very superstitious.
I don't allow the bananas on my boat either.
I got the sticker and all, dude.
I've seen your sticker.
And dude, I rolled by. Mike will sit there on his boat. Mike D will sit there and eat a banana in front of me just to taunt me on his boat. And he'll look at me and go, hey, look.
Does he eat it in one bite?
It'd be pretty impressive.
Cameron has banana PTSD.
Dude, I
Bananas
don't.
just give me the
I've only taken one trip this year where somebody brought a banana. And it was the worst fishing I've ever seen. Like, it was just terrible.
All right.
And she pulls out her pack, opens it up, pulls out a banana. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You sat here up front and looked at the sticker all day and you didn't think anything of it.
She
That it
pulls out a
says
whole
no
bushel.
bananas.
She's like, yeah.
She's like, I
I'm
brought
Donkey
2
Kong.
bushels of bananas. Yeah, it's
Come,
like,
Mr.
what?
Tallyman.
It's like, what? Like, you wouldn't ask a question like, why is there no banana sticker? I brought a banana. You wouldn't look at the banana and be like, oh, I have one.
I mean, I would do it to spite you. I don't even care
No,
if the
they do.
fishing's
They
good.
just, they sabotaged me. Sam put a banana on my boat a couple years ago, and I had 3 swimmers in 2 days. One guy twice.
He had a banana in his pants.
Yeah.
Dude.
That was his deal.
He was a banana. He was a dirty banana.
That guy was a banana.
Oh, can I drink it? I can't drink a dirty banana.
That's not bad. I mean, you bought no banana daiquiris.
Get him off.
Don't want anything banana related.
Strawberries on.
Dude, it's crazy, man. I'm very superstitious, and like I don't know if that's just. I always was grown up superstitious.
Oh, well, they'll kill a man down in Florida.
Oh, hell yeah. You bring a banana on the boat, they'll toss you out. Be like, I hope you survive.
Swim, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you survive.
That's like in the contract.
No bananas.
They take it serious in saltwater.
I'm just going to start. I feel like we've talked about this.
Oh, yeah, we have. And I always tell you I'm going to wear a banana suit on your boat with banana pajamas, banana socks.
How come I can never remember what we talked about on the podcast? Oh, I know.
I don't know why either.
Here, cheers to not ever
Cheers to
remembering
that.
what we talk about
Hey,
on the
here's
podcast.
cheers to a podcast for a while. Not having one for a while. And then coming in hot with a serious, crazy, all kinds of stuff podcast.
Banana podcast.
Pooping bananas.
bananas,
Well,
routines.
I think we got
You're
the name.
welcome.
I think we got the name of this podcast. Pooping bananas.
Pooping bananas.
That's a good one.
Banana diarrhea. Yeah, you don't want that.
Bananas aren't even good in their like best form. Bananas,
It's a weird thing, dude.
Bananas are gross, dude.
Bananas are weird.
But
This is a fishing podcast.
It all comes back.
It does all
Was.
come back.
Was.
I swear. You show up to my guide trip with a banana, I'm gonna search everything.
I'm gonna suplex you.
Yeah.
Cameron's now doing full searches, full cavity searches.
Hey, I gotta make sure you don't have banana.
Spread them and cough.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't believe you.
What is that?
What is that?
That's not a banana. All right.
All right, cool. Get on.
Oh shit! I think we've burnt this one out.
It's probably time.
It's one of my favorites.
It's a good one. It's been fun.
Bananas and poop.
It's been a good time.
It has been a good time.
Yeah, man. Welcome back, all of us.
Well,
Welcome back, everyone.
we're back at it. Finally got a day off.
Well, winter's coming. We're not gonna have anything else to
Winter is coming.
Get ready for one podcast a day.
do. Get ready for a podcast today.
And just repeat.
Well, it's still snowing, so.
Yeah.
You know it's less fun
Just
than doing
repeat
podcasts?
rants.
Shoveling snow.
Well,
Don't bring that
I'm
up
sorry,
right now.
I'm sorry.
Don't bum everybody out.
Yeah, you're right. That's my bad. Sorry,
But
everyone out there listening.
I think we covered a bunch.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's everything that's going to get
So if
covered
you take
well.
so if you take
Everything
any
else from here on out will be sloppy. So we'll just end it there.
Yeah, so if you take anything away from this podcast, right? Hopper droppers, double pickles are crushing it right now.
Yeah.
Go out and
Do it. And yeah, just guided trip.
woo.
Find us. The guided trip at gmail.com. Email us. Let us know about all your nonsense or whatever. If you want to question us about peg eggs or
bananas.
or
pooping.
bananas or
Or
our
your-
pooping routines.
Yeah, or your routine in general. Love to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what everybody else has.
Well, we
Different
might
routines.
just learn a thing or two.
You can find us the guided trip on Instagram. It's just at the guided trip. Ryan McVay is at PFO Life. Dane Scott is at back.cast. Backcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're here. We're gonna keep doing some podcasts from here on out. We had a busy freaking fall and crazy time, but we're here. Thanks everybody for listening. This is the guided trip.